with everybody walking away saving face and getting a little something, or us not being worse off than we were when we got into this?
Well, this is a complicated issue, and war is serious business, and that's why that our founding fathers enshrined into the Constitution that Congress only have the authority to declare war, because we are the closest contact to the people. We feel it the most. And I know we want to not focus on the past. We got to focus on the reality right now. So, I'm going to continue, certainly, as we all should, to support our military who are risking their lives every single day, not just in the Middle East, but around the world. And we also have to agree that Iran cannot have a nuclear bomb. Again, I do not believe that there was an imminent threat to this country, and I do not believe that we should have gone to war. And it is a costly war. Obviously, it just came out yesterday that inflation is up. It impacts every single element across the board in our economy. And as a result, people are really hurting. Also costly is the human cost of our own loss of military members, injured military members, cost to our bases, and then the weaponry and the machinery that we have to replace, and that has been stated in these hearings that there's concerns about our ability to defend ourselves at the same level or defend Taiwan that we have in the past. So we need real accountability and real oversight for Iran's nuclear program, and that is what I hope that the Secretary of State, the President, Vice President, whomever is negotiating, and we need real oversight to make sure that that doesn't happen. We also need to open the Strait of Hormuz. This is why going to war, all these things should have been factored in ahead of time. And I mean, Iran is the seventh largest military in the world with almost 100 million people. And, if bombs were being dropped in our country, I know that would embolden us. And I'm just, of course, I'm fearful that Iran is not going to give in, and I do believe that they have a little bit more leverage than we thought that they would at this point. So, again, I'm always going to lean towards diplomacy, and I hope that we can find a diplomatic solution that keeps Iran away from a nuclear weapon for, as far as we can see into the future.
The president is talking about suspending the federal gas tax. He cannot do that on his own. He needs congressional approval. Is that something you would support?
I absolutely would support it. Again, this is a costly war. Our debt continues to go up. We cut nutrition assistance and Medicare and Medicaid in the interest of supporting tax cuts for billionaires and corporations, So listen, we've got to be fiscally responsible. So there will be a side of it that will say, well, we need that revenue. Also, some of that revenue is passed on to the states for maintenance of, rail and road infrastructure. So we need that as well. But people are hurting. I would be supportive of suspending the gas tax.
Okay.
And I did that in the state, too, when prices spiked and I was in the state Senate.
We're speaking with Congressman John Mannion. This might be something I don't know if you'll answer, but if I don't ask, I guess I'll never know the answer, whether or not you'll answer. But in the race for the seat that is currently held by Elise Stefanik, Robert Smullen and Anthony Constantino, who's let's call him a corker. That's the best I can come up with. And he's made some accusations against Robert Smullen that Smullen had state campaigns that he used paying a consultant who was working for his congressional campaign. At the very least, can you tell us, because you went through the same thing when you ran for Congress, you were in state government, and I'm sure you had money in your state coffers. What are the rules? What should be followed? And do you have an opinion on that?
Right. Well, listen, first of all, I want to say that, I generally focus on my own district and my own race, but it's hard to not watch what's happening up in NY21, certainly. And the word corker was thrown around my house as a little kid. I can tell you that. So
yeah, that's all I could come up with. I'm sorry. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know all the details here, but I do know that it is a unique situation and there's guidelines around it. And I'm sure that Assemblymember Smullen has access to, folks in the Republican Party and various law firms and his own potential compliance firm that would advise him on that. So listen, everybody is, accusations are easy to make, but, at the end of the day, this is the reason why we have, the FEC and other entities, that if there needs to be, people can make a claim and therefore there should be a fair and unbiased investigation. I believe that will happen because, I get to see every day how we have to comply with the law, and that's an important thing. People have a low trust in government right now, and that is justified in a number of different ways. That's why, these institutions, these federal agencies, state agencies have to do their job and do that investigation. But, regarding that race, I would say I worked with Robert Smullen. We did not know each other that well or interact that much, but, he's a family man. I believe he's committed to supporting, the people of that region. Also, Blake Genevieve, as you know, who's running, I think is a great fit. He and I have a very close relationship, and I'm supporting him.
To be fair and full disclosure, obviously, Assemblyman Smullen's campaign has come out to say that the charges are I think the word was ridiculous, absolutely untrue. So we'll see where that goes. And interestingly, Constantino's saying he probably won't sue until after the primary, which does make you kind of think, well, if it's such a wrongdoing, why wouldn't you do it before the primary? Why wouldn't you do it right now? We'll have him on to ask that question. Finally, I wanted to ask you your thought. I mean, there's a lot going on right now. We're juggling an awful lot in the world, and here in the country, facing rising costs and of course gas prices. Sometimes people complain about gas prices, depending on who you complain to. They say, well, what do you want, a nuclear weapon or live through a temporary high gas price? All in all, though, with inflation moving up, what are your concerns going forward economically for here and for the country?
Right. Well, listen, this is the number one priority of people. I will say this, that when I get briefed on the calls and the emails that come into my office, 1 and 2 for months have been the war in Iran and affordability. So listen, some of the things that have happened over the last 16 months, including the tariffs, including the war, have driven prices up. We need a real comprehensive agenda to make sure it's affordable to live in the region. We have to hold utility companies accountable. We need to not take energy projects offline because we need an all-above approach. When it comes to like school meals or restoring SNAP, I'm supportive of that. I'm trying to keep dollars in people's pockets. I also believe that our tax structure benefits the ultra wealthy in a number of different ways. So that's the affordability piece. The opportunity piece. So many great things are happening in our region because I think of a lot of dedicated people, experienced people, leaders from both parties that have put all politics aside and said, we've had some tough times in the region and we want to do great things and be a great, draw people to the region. That's happening. So it's affordability and opportunity. And I think the opportunity is there. Something we've got to focus on, and we are moving, but probably not moving fast enough, is to make sure that we have quality housing available for folks. And that's why we do need permitting reform, and we need to make sure that for our developers, it makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense economically, they're not going to build. So I'm going to do whatever I can to help legislatively and also, with various federal grants and funding projects to help with that. So I think that's the biggest thing. I think we need to get out of this war. We need to bring gas prices down. We need to, make sure it's affordable for everyday Americans, and we need to make sure that our opportunity upswing here with all the great things that are happening in the region continue. and we have the housing to make sure people can live here.
One final note here and you said you would support the suspension of the federal gas tax in order to bring the cost down. Somebody asking how much that would be. It's about, am I correct in saying it's about 18 cents a gallon for regular and almost a quarter a gallon for diesel? Is that correct?
Those are the numbers that I've heard, yes.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
All right, Congressman, we appreciate the time. Thank you so much. Let's do this again.
Thank you so much, Bill. Take
Have
care.
a great day. Thanks, Congressman John Mannion.
You know, protecting your home should not be a headache. Many security companies, they lock you into these multi-year contracts. No, Simply Safe Home Security, they do things differently. With Simply Safe, you get award-winning 24/7 professional monitoring around $1 a day without any long-term commitment. Simply Safe, they just want to earn your trust every day by doing a great job. Right now, you'll get 50% off your custom system by going to simplysafe.com/Hannity. Half off when you go to simplysafe.com/Hannity. And remember, there's no safe like Simply Safe.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds, and you can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
Hurt in a car? Call William Attar. 315-444-4444.
The Utica Mayor's Benefit Gala lighting the way is Saturday, May 30th at 6 p.m. at the Delta benefiting Abraham House. A guaranteed evening of amazing food, drinks, and entertainment by Showtime, Last Left, Just Joe, Nick Bontempo, and more. Tickets can be purchased at uticamayorsbenefitgala.com. It's an evening filled with community connection and purpose, all while supporting compassionate end-of-life care for those who need it most. It's a big party for all. We hope to see you on May 30th at the Utica Mayor's Benefit Gala.
Start your savings at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Now through May 31st, get up to $180 back on a Bridgestone prepaid MasterCard. Get $80 back when you buy a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone tires. Get an additional $100 when you make an eligible tire purchase with your CFNA credit card. Don't wait. These offers end May 31st. Visit Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, or online at tallmanstire.com.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities, so do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Little Falls Lumber has everything you need for home improvement season. They're fully stocked with secondary grade metal in all colors. Available in 12-foot lengths and affordable solutions for sheds, garages, and roof repairs. Tired of digging through warped boards at the big box stores? At Little Falls Lumber, you'll find only premium grade lumber, hand-selected for quality. They also carry roofing, siding, windows, doors, and much more. Visit Little Falls Lumber in Little Falls in Syracuse. Call 315-823-2470 or go to littlefallslumber.com.
Any rain will move out early on this Friday, and the sun will break through during the afternoon hours with a high of 64. Clouds will increase this evening with an overnight low in the mid-40s. Then a warmer weekend, a sunny start to Saturday with a slight chance for an afternoon shower to high near 80, and some sunshine on Sunday with a high reaching the upper 70s. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Well, as you know, we're having the final chilly, not too chilly, but a rainy day before a series of summer-like days. Currently, clouds, rain, and 45 degrees.
Hey, everybody in upstate New York. I don't know where in upstate New York, but thanks for listening to the Keeler Show. Never met this man. Don't know why I'm telling everybody to listen, but thank you very much. By the way, this is Larry David from Curb Your Enthusiasm. I have nothing else really to say to you, but I thank you for listening to me, tell you to listen to this man, Bill Keeler, on WIBX.
Keeler in the Morning invites you to connect with us through telephonic communication at 736-0186. Or use the Call Us button on the WIBX 950 app. For additional contact methodologies, please refer to WIBX950.com.
Hi, Billy Mays here with the brand new Keeler Kill Switch. When that morning show starts yapping about something you can't stand, don't reach for the dial. Just press this big red button and BAM!
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
A couple of things here to start this morning. Bully Waffle coming up in a few minutes. Tim Julian is in this morning. Assemblyman Brian Miller. We'll speak with Roseanne Leparco on are you ready to are you at a point right now where you can actually plant some stuff outside? Scott in Kirkville this weekend is the Preakness, and Manaski's off this morning, and it's me and Davey. Hello, Davey.
Good morning, Bill.
A couple things. I want to talk to a few people this morning on the issue. Of course, we had the interview, and you might have heard it earlier this morning, had it yesterday with Paul Michonne, former town supervisor in New Hartford, and this Edgar Lopez, there is a court proceeding today. I've spoken to the DA on this. Remember, we've kind of only heard one side of the story. The DA says there's more. I guess there may be. It certainly seems like Edgar Lopez has gotten the short end of the stick here. And then yesterday, the issue of so if you know this story, he was a carpenter and doing work for the town of New Hartford as an employee, and at some point, he would have the people in the office fill out his time cards because he was not a good reader. Let's put it that way. And there came a point where he was on vacation, and then they had him change his time card. They're saying, Michonne is saying that they had him change it to a time that he wasn't there. He just signed off on the time card, and then ultimately was charged with trying to present hours when he was on vacation. And it's not like he was hiding his vacation. It was on Facebook. He was telling everybody about it. So it seemed innocent. However, during the interrogation, they asked him, you realize you did something wrong? He says, I did. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done it. So it becomes very, very confusing. But was he coerced to say that? The one area where I want to, and next week I'm hoping we can talk to the DA. I know there's pending court litigation, but this whole thing where Michonne is saying it's okay for him to be hired as an employee, and bring in. He's an employee of the town of New Hartford, and he's able to bring in his own employees for his contracting company, and it's okay because he pays their workers' comp, and I just don't. I think that just seems really sticky. Wouldn't it have been better, and why didn't the town of New Hartford hire him as a contractor? You would then have gotten all of his employees. They would not have had to pay his payroll taxes or his workers' comp. That all would have been covered by Edgar Lopez's company. So, and at some point, people had to know he was bringing his employees in to help him complete jobs. Nobody said anything. Nobody said this doesn't work. Or as Michonne said yesterday, it does work because he has a company and he pays their payroll taxes and workers' comp. So I don't know. All I can think is if there was ever an accident where there had to be a workers' comp case, good luck explaining that one to the workers' comp judge. And we'll get more people on this that are a lot smarter than I am about it, but it does make you kind of wonder this whole thing is odd to me. The 2026 NFL schedule is out, and Davey, let's go through it. We don't have anybody on the phone, so you want me just to answer?
Yeah.
All right, I'll try. WIBX, you're on the air. Be careful. Can we help you?
Good morning, Keeler. This is the Chief. How are you?
Chief, how are you? What's going on? What are you thinking?
I just needed somebody to talk to. I got a 32-year-old granddaughter that's been in the psych ward most of her life. She's out in Syracuse.
Oh boy,
got cancer in her right eye. Now it's spreading through the brain. I just needed somebody to talk to.
Oh boy,
sorry to hear that, Chief.
That. Yeah, it's. I don't know why we see more of this. Well, and maybe it's not more, but it's just terrible when you. I mean, it's terrible when anybody goes through any disease or something like cancer, but when kids have to go through it, it's just terrible.
Yeah, so I just needed a little cheering up a little bit, you know.
Well, I don't know if we're going to be good at that, but nonetheless, good to hear from you, Chief. Chief goes back many years for us on the radio. So
Chief's a great guy.
Whenever we would need someone, whenever we would need somebody beaten up, Chief would always go out there and do it for us.
That made my day right there.
Well, listen.
I got your back anytime.
It sounds like she's in good hands. Where she is, though.
Yeah, she's in the hospital right now. She's been living in a group home most of her life, but it's up to the man upstairs, you know.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, we wish you the best. Wish her the best, and thank you for checking in this morning, Chief.
All right, we'll talk.
All right, man.
Thanks,
talk to you soon. Good man. Hit that right. Good man, right there.
Sure is.
Okay. So we're a man down here. So when Davey's in here, he can't answer the phones. All right. 2026 Bills schedule is out. And what do you think so far? It's kind of a tough schedule.
Yes.
And a lot of it depends on how good we don't know how good these teams are going to be. You expect the Patriots to be good, although this controversy with
Rossini and Vrabel,
holy moly,
Vrabel,
it's not going away.
Nope.
But it a lot depends on how good are the Jets and the Dolphins and the Patriots. But they've got some really key games in here and a lot of prime time. There's a Thursday night, a Monday night, another Monday night, a Thanksgiving Day. That's at 8:20 at night, so the night game on Thanksgiving versus the Kansas City Chiefs in Buffalo. That's going to be a game and a half.
Look at the Week 2 game against the Lions. It's Thursday Night Football. It's the season premiere of Thursday Night Football on Prime Video, and it's at the Highmark Stadium.
Yeah, that's at Buffalo.
Yep.
The Bills open up at Texas against the Houston against the Texans. Then it's the Chargers, the Patriots on October 4th.
The Jets are going to be much improved.
Hey, Willie, stand by. We'll be right with you.
The Jets are going to be much improved with Geno Smith.
I think so too.
Center.
Yeah, and they'll end the season with the Jets. But listen to this: the Bills have the Chiefs on Thanksgiving evening, and then the late afternoon game on Christmas.
The rematch.
It's the Bills and the Broncos at 4:30.
Yeah, it should have been the Bills in the championship game against the Patriots instead of the Broncos.
Yep. And then they wind the season down on the 3rd. So not on New Year's Day at the Dolphins, and then the Jets is to be determined. It'll be in Buffalo, though.
Well, it's a flex game. If it's anything, meaning if it comes down saying it's for the Jets and the Bills for the conference, they might put that game on prime time.
Right, but it is in Buffalo.
Yes.
All right.
Hopefully it's snowing and minus 12 degrees.
So they put out a list the other day of the toughest, the easiest schedules, and I believe Kansas City might have had one of the top 3 easier schedules in the NFL.
This schedule ain't easy for the Bills.
This is not an easy schedule, though. So take it for what it is. All right, listen, this is a time, I think, where you're gonna want to probably do a lot of streaming if you're watching any media this weekend. The theaters, maybe still go to the theaters, but you're going to be dealing with some really nice weather. Doesn't get dark till late. That plays a role in some of this. We have a beautiful weekend on the way. Willie Waffle is our man. Willie, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I mean, this week the theaters are kind of in this little bit of a lull, just a minor lull, because you've already got the Michael movie out, The Devil Wears Prada 2 is out. They're still kind of riding high on that. And then next week is the big Star Wars movie with The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So theaters are kind of like they're in a little bit of a holding pattern this week.
Which is kind of traditional, right? You're just before the big summer blockbusters come out.
Yeah, I mean, I still argue the summer movie season started when Devil Wears Prada 2 came out.
Okay.
And it did very, very well. And then Mortal Kombat 2 last week did a lot better than I thought it would. So that one's still in theaters. So yeah, your movie studios look at that and they go, listen, those movies are going to have a couple of weeks where they're going to dominate. And the other thing is, they've taken up a lot of theaters. Usually when you get a big movie like Devil Wears Prada, you've got to agree to run it on X number of screens. So, there aren't as many screens available until those movies move out, and then the Star Wars movie moves in next week.
Okay, 2 in theaters this weekend. What do you think? I mean, 2 that you're looking at.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 that I'm looking at, I think you've got, decent movies. I think you're looking at Obsession. Obsession is a horror movie that is kind of cool, kind of interesting, kind of novel. It's about this guy who's desperately head over heels crushing on his coworker, and she doesn't like him that way, guys. And it breaks his heart. And he's so desperate. He gets this novelty toy where he makes a wish that she will love him more than anything else in the world. And now she's obsessed with him, and it's going to get out of control, and it's going to get crazy. And there's some humor in here, but I think there's also kind of this intellectual discussion going on. Is she really in love with you if you needed that wish to make it happen? And I think what makes the movie interesting is this the woman who plays the woman in the movie, it's Indy Navarrete, and she gives little glimpses every once in a while that she breaks out of the spell. Like she realizes she's trapped, and you see the pain that she's going through and the desperation she's going through. And then she also shows that she's absolutely crazy and is obsessed to levels that are absolutely frightening. In every good horror movie, right? There's always that moment of, boy, you really should have thought about what you were wishing for. Yeah. And that's what this movie does. I'm at 3 waffles. I think it's a pretty solid movie.
Called Obsession. And then In the Gray, which is in theaters.
Yeah, and this is Henry Cavill, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Isa Gonzalez. And she's a big-time lawyer who understands where the evil people hide their money, all the shell companies, all the foreign bank accounts, all those kind of things. And she has a special kind of practice. She goes after money that needs to be recovered from people who aren't very nice. Matter of fact, the job that she's gotten hired here is to retrieve $1 billion loan that was given to a horrible despot who's got his own army, and he just doesn't want to pay it back. And then Henry Cavill and Jake Gyllenhaal are the muscle. They're the special ops guys. They're the ones who know that this isn't just a negotiation. This is also trying to keep them all alive. And it's a good action film. I think that it gets a lot into the technical aspects of the money, but it doesn't get overwhelmed by it. It really is more about these guys out on this island, all the military, maneuvers that they're making, all the plans that they're making. You get involved in all that. You kind of admire all the thinking and all the planning that goes into it. And, it's a Guy Ritchie movie, and he's always got a little bit of a snarky attitude to it, a little snarky dialogue to it. So you've got that going on here, too. I'm at like 2.5 waffles. Right. I think it's a solid movie. It's a quick movie. That's the part I like the best.
Yeah.
It gets in, it gets out. It doesn't waste my time with 5 other stories and 6 other endings. So I'm at 2.5 waffles for In the Gray.
Are we seeing a finally a bounce back for movie theaters, or are they really struggling still?
Well, I think they're still struggling. There's a lot of hope that maybe this year they'll do better than they did the year before. But nothing has come close to what the numbers were before COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, COVID really changed movie theaters forever. And I think anybody who's hoping that they'll go back to those numbers is I think whistling by the graveyard.
Yeah.
I think that's just not going to happen. And I think that's why you've seen so much diversification of what movie theaters are doing with the property. I mean, two of the biggest releases this week are going to be the return of Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick to movie theaters in a special engagement for a week.
Yeah, like nostalgia.
AMC,
yeah,
AMC has the special, Top Gun Maverick helmet popcorn holder, and you also have things like they're bringing Broadway plays through events companies that play on the big screen. A lot of churches rent the theaters on a Sunday morning so that they have space to have worship. I mean, the movie theater business is so much different. Hey, one of the biggest changes. Dude, you could go on like Grubhub or DoorDash and just order the movie popcorn and get it delivered to your house.
Yeah,
they want to engage in that business.
So,
they know they need to sell other things.
When I was living in Providence, there was a place that had there were the big movie houses that were all coming in there in the 90s and multiplex. And then you had these, 1 or 2 screen houses that were trying to figure out a way to survive. And they got rid of all the seats and they brought in couches. And this was kind of like it was kind of like an artsy type thing, but they brought in couches and they served food and had a full bar. And that's how you watch the movie. That was back in 1995. So you're seeing that start to happen again now where you can go like a dinner theater type thing where you're watching a movie.
You've got places like the Cinema and Draft House, the Alamo Cinema and Draft House. I mean, their whole bit is, you can order food and have it delivered to your seat at the theater, so you can eat and watch. And they are very, very infamous for their "don't you dare make any noise" policy, where they will throw you out if you are being disruptive, if you're watching your cell phone during the movie and things like that. So there's a lot of different ways that I think theater owners are trying to enhance the experience or make it something that can compete with your 50-inch television screen with your awesome sound system at home. And I think that's been part of the downfall.
Which is a waste because if you have a wife, she's telling you to turn it down anyway, so you can't even experience the full impact of the sound. And then the other part, we're at this place, at least here, and I can't imagine we're the only theater that deals with it because this is a big company that owns the theater here. But they brought in all these beautiful leather seats. Turns out I don't know that they really were leather. They might have been pleather seats, and all that whatever it was has peeled off. And if you get in there and the lights come up, you see that these seats have all peeled. All that pleather has peeled off, and it just looks terrible. And it's that does not help with the experience. I mean, if they had something that was, if you're walking in there and it's all beautiful and brand new with new ideas and new concepts, you may see business increase. But going in and seeing things look dumpy is not going to help.
No, I'm with you. And I think, in a lot of ways, the movie theater business is a lot like the apartment building business, okay? Like everything when it comes in brand new looks beautiful and sparkly and wonderful and luxurious. And it comes down to how do you maintain it? And, I'm sorry, I still am just disgusted by most movie theater bathrooms. If you just put a lot of extra effort into keeping the bathroom clean, I would be excited. Like you said, if the seats are getting beat up and broken, that takes away from that experience. If you got the one seat that doesn't recline properly, it's taken away from the experience. Like you said, if you've got the seat where the pleather is all ripped up, it takes away from the experience. You have to be dedicated to keeping it all alive and keeping it luxurious. And if you're not, you're just going to fall by the wayside.
Yeah, it's like the restaurant that's struggling. So in order to save money, they decide to use the cheap chicken. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. Or get rid of the good chef and have somebody else do the cooking. I want to complain about one thing from home. So, and don't judge me, but the other night we were just looking. We watched right now we're going through 2 different series, and it's like we watch those all the time. So I'm like, let's do something a little different. So we're flipping through trying to find something in the 1 million shows that we could watch on a Wednesday night or Tuesday night it was, and we found. I'm like, let's just see what epic Elvis in concert is. It's in his words. I don't know if you've seen this. That's out there. Nonetheless, it was what it was. It is actually Elvis shown in a good light, and probably the family putting it much like the Michael Jackson thing that's out right now. But the problem is we rented it. So Tuesday night we rented it, and we got about halfway through it. I'm like, I will watch the rest tomorrow night. Well, tomorrow night it didn't work. We couldn't do it. Well, it did work. It didn't work for us. So we tried to watch it last night. And when you look at it, it says you have 30 days to watch your movie.
Yeah, you usually have 30 days. Yeah.
But once you start, you only have 48. Why not let it go the whole so we couldn't watch it last night. We would have to re-rent it in order to watch the second half. And that wasn't good, so I wasn't going to do it.
I'm with you. I mean, if you initially tell me I've got 30 days to watch something, don't tell me that the 30 days becomes 48 hours if I watch the opening credits and I get taken away. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and then
you've already gotten the person's money. You don't have to put the screws to them.
It was like $9 to rent it, and I'm not giving them another $9. So, by the way, I was told we're not paying $9 again. And then
I don't blame you. I wouldn't do it on principle.
And then one more. This people can be looking for tonight. It premieres on Paramount Plus. This might be the type of show maybe it's worth getting Paramount Plus if you don't have it. The Dutton Ranch premieres tonight. What do you think?
It is the sequel to Yellowstone with Kelly Riley and Cole Hauser. This is probably one of the most anticipated series of the year. Now, it's on Paramount Plus. Here's the deal. It's on Paramount Plus like right now. They drop the episodes at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay,
it will air on the Paramount Network on cable at 8 p.m. tonight.
Okay, so you could get it. You could see it on the cable. On the cable network. All right.
Both.
Almost out of time. I know you haven't seen it yet, but it's called Dutton Ranch, and you can watch it for free on your cable tonight at 8 o'clock. Didn't realize it. All right, Willie, have a great weekend. Thank you, man.
All right, talk to you next week.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 From the WB Tain Insurance Studio, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
President Trump is flying home. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. After 2 days of talks in China,
this has been an incredible visit. I think a lot of good has come of it.
the president said before leaving that he and Chinese leader Xi Jinping did talk about Iran not being allowed to have a nuclear weapon. And they argued the Strait of Hormuz, mostly closed for shipping in this U.S. conflict, should be reopened. China buys most of Iran's oil. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson reports from Dubai.
During the summit, some Chinese vessels made it out of the Persian Gulf. It also got violent again, pretty noisy. An Indian-flagged livestock vessel was sunk off the coast of Oman. It's not clear if there was any livestock on board. All 14 crew members were rescued. This attack taking place while India was hosting a BRICS economic summit, along with Iran's foreign minister was also in attendance. Another ship was commandeered off the east coast of UAE, last seen heading to Iranian waters.
The president is also touting trade deals worked out on the trip with more than a dozen American CEOs who came to China with him, telling Fox's Hannity.
Those business people are here to make deals and to bring back jobs. They're bringing back massive numbers. You know, China's going to invest hundreds of billions of dollars with those people that were in that room today.
While flying home, the president posted this morning on Truth Social he's planning something new for Washington along the Potomac River, what he calls the National Garden of American Heroes that the president wrote will include a magnificent exhibition of statues. The CIA director's gone to Cuba, which the president's called a failed country with a tariff threat that's cut off fuel shipments to Cuba, leading to worsening shortages.
Director John Ratcliffe met with Cuban officials, including Fidel Castro's grandnephew, Raul Rodriguez Castro, to deliver President Trump's message that the U.S. is prepared to seriously engage on economic and security issues, but only if Cuba makes fundamental changes.
Fox's Carmen Roberts. Fox has also learned the U.S. is preparing a criminal case against ex-Cuban leader Raul Castro. America's listening to Fox News.
For 250 years, Americans have believed in one powerful idea, that we were meant to live free. Free to work hard, free to move, free to enjoy life without being held back. But if everyday aches and pains are slowing you down, it might be time to declare your independence from pain. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free, research-based formula designed to help your body fight inflammation, one of the root causes of pain. It's not a quick fix or a temporary mask. It works from the inside out, at the source. Relief Factor was created so people could get back to living life on their terms, walking, working, exercising, and enjoying the moments that matter. This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take a stand for your own freedom. Declare your independence from pain. Try Relief Factor today for just $19.95. Your 3-week quick start is ready for you. Visit relieffactor.com or call 800-4-RELIEF.
Well, Democrats have failed again in Congress to limit President Trump's military actions against Iran. Another war powers resolution failed in the House this time with a tie vote. Also in the House
Financial Services Committee Chair Republican French Hill and Democratic Representative Maxine Waters, the committee's ranking member, releasing the House's version of the 21st Century Road to Housing Act. The bill includes removing a Senate provision that would require single-family homes built as long-term rentals by large institutional investors to sell that property within 7 years. If the measure passes next week, it would go back to the Senate for final approval. The amended edition comes after the Senate passed its own version in March, and as the White House has urged the lower chamber to pass the Senate version as is. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
Oil prices are rising back up this morning, almost 2%, while on Wall Street, stocks could drop. Dow futures down almost 200 points the day after closing back above 50,000, while the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 hit record highs again. Round 2 of golf's second major tournament of the year is just teed off a few minutes ago at Aronimink outside Philadelphia.
It is a crowded field at the top of the PGA Championships leaderboard, with 7 different golfers tied for first place. And that's the most people that have shared the lead after the PGA Championships opening round since there was a 9-way tie in 1969. And included in that group that shot a 3-under on Thursday is world number 1 and defending tournament winner Scottie Scheffler.
That's Fox's Greg Thompson. Scheffler will start playing next hour. Now to the NHL playoffs.
Out in front, they score! That's hockey, baby! It's Brett Howden. It's his 8th goal of the playoffs, and Vegas has a 2-0 lead.
That ended up the game winner for the Golden Knights, beating and eliminating the Anaheim Ducks 5-1 on TNT. Vegas advances to the Western Conference Final. Montreal beat Buffalo 6-3 to go up 3-2 in that series. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Any rain will move out early on this Friday, and the sun will break through during the afternoon hours with a high of 64. Clouds will increase this evening with an overnight low in the mid-40s. Then a warmer weekend, a sunny start to Saturday with a slight chance for an afternoon shower to high near 80, and some sunshine on Sunday with a high reaching the upper 70s. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Currently, we have clouds, and it is 46 degrees. Davey, I want to ask you one quickie. I don't know what in the heck happened to the Sabres last night. That game was tied up, and then all of a sudden, Montreal. What are they playing? Montreal, right?
The Sabres were ahead, 3-2.
Was it? And they lost 6-3.
Yeah,
and right, they tied up 2-2, and then they go ahead 3-2, and then 3 unanswered goals in the third period.
Yeah, so Game 6 is in Montreal.
Yeah,
and if they tie it up, they come back to Buffalo. But did you see the Canadian fans when they were exiting the KeyBank Arena, just whooping it up and cheering?
Yeah, well,
I hate the Canadians fans. I hate the Canadian fans, but
the Sabres fans have been quite that anthem thing, and
they've been
nonetheless, and then the Mets again. And again,
the young kid.
It's that whatever his name is.
Ewing.
Patrick Ewing.
No,
it's
not Patrick Ewing.
But the Ewing kid has had a week and a half for his debut in Major League Baseball, and he had a home run yesterday.
So Nick,
all the young kids that have come up through the farm system are performing, and when you think about it, how little money was spent on them versus the players who are not performing that cost so much.
So Nick on YouTube asked me about Max Fried, if he heard anything.
Yeah.
He had a test done yesterday on his elbow because he only went 3 1/3 innings against Baltimore the other day. They came out, he had elbow discomfort. Hopefully something gets released today. But like I told Jeff yesterday when we were discussing this could be Tommy John for Max Fried.
Yeah.
And if it is, it's a huge blow to the Yankees pitching staff.
And I got to say,
Garrett Cole is working his way back from Tommy John surgery, so he's going to be inserted into the rotation sometime next week. So we have Cam Schlichler, Carlos Rodon, Will Warren, Max Fried, and Garrett Cole. So Ryan Weathers, who's going to be the odd man out, was supposed to be possibly moving to the bullpen. So if Max Fried has the injury, it means Ryan Weathers could stay in to be the 4th or 5th starter. Let's just pray to God that Max Fried doesn't have to have Tommy John surgery.
Well, I probably won't pray for that one, but I'm hoping.
And it's the Yankees and the Mets tonight.
Yankees, Mets, and do you see who's pitching tonight?
Is Clay Holmes pitching tonight? Good God. He's shining for you guys.
He has been perfect, spectacular for the Mets so far.
I hope it comes down to the Yankees winning, and it's a tie game, and Devin Williams is on the mound, and he blows the save for you guys, and we have a tremendous game tonight.
He's actually been pretty solid after a rough start.
But the Mets always play the Yankees
tough. All right. So this is Josh. Yankees haven't been playing great the last week. Game 1, we have, is it Schlittler?
Yes.
Starting. He's been one of the best pitchers in baseball. Lowest ERA in Major League Baseball so far. Rodon going Game 2. He's only pitched once this year because he's been hurt. Didn't look so great. We will see if he settles in or needs more time adjusting. But the Yankees are 1-5 in their last 6 games. The Mets, I have to look back at the schedule, but I do know they just swept
the
Tigers, and have been hitting the heck out of the ball for the first time this season. And as I said, it's the young kids, so that's a big deal. Also in sports,
PGA Championships this week.
PGA Championship underway, and of course tomorrow is the Preakness. And I don't think any of the horses from 2 weeks ago are actually in the Preakness.
There's a couple horses from the Derby that were running.
Otherwise, they'll all be in Saratoga in a couple of weeks for the Belmont.
Yes.
So there you go. But we will talk to Scott in Kirkville later on this morning and get the ins and outs from him. He'll throw a few betting options, but a much smaller lineup, right? In the
I believe it's 12 or 13 horses.
Okay. All right. Quick break coming up. We'll and I will get into a little bit of the messages. Normally Jeff handles that, but we'll get some of those in here as well. Tim Julian, his take on the new landlord law recently passed by the Utica Common Council, and he's not pleased with it.
He went in front of the Common Council last week to express his opinion.
I think it's been a long time since he's been there.
It just felt weird seeing the ex-mayor of the city in front of the Common Council that he used to preside over, being a public citizen, doing comments.
We'll speak with Tim Julian coming up in a minute. Also, Brian Miller up later on this hour. By the way, Hobica's free money question of the day. What are we looking at this morning there, Davey?
$375 today.
Oh boy, $375.
See, Mike, I got into his wallet.
$375. All right, we'll give a shot of that coming up in about 30 minutes with Hobica's free money question of the day coming up.
Hello, Utica. This is Carrie Paleo from the Greater Utica Chamber of Commerce. We're thrilled to introduce some of the newest members of our business network. Let's give them a true Utica welcome and show what it means to be part of this incredible community.
Agway of Holland Patent at 7794 Park Avenue, Holland Patent. United Healthcare. Find more info at uhc.com. And Crust Kitchen and Bar at their new location, 330 Main Street, Utica.
By supporting the local economy, we'll keep building the future of Utica together. Greater Utica Chamber, empowering upstate New York.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Start your savings at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Now through May 31st, get up to $170 back on a Firestone prepaid MasterCard. Get up to $70 when you buy a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires. Get an additional $100 when you make an eligible tire purchase with your CFNA credit card. Don't wait. These offers end May 31st. Visit Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, or online at tallmanstire.com.
Megan, I think the 2026 Kia Sportage Hybrid just got flagged for unnecessary savings.
That's because it's the Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event.
Ah, saving season.
Get 0.9 APR financing for 60 months, plus up to $750 in bonus cash on the 2026 Kia Sportage Hybrid.
Okay, that's already impressive.
And it gets amazing 35 miles per gallon combined.
Oof, that's a direct hit on gas stations.
They'll recover.
I just drove past a gas pump and it looked offended. It's no wonder we're the #1 volume Kia dealer from Maine to Maryland.
Go kooky for Kia at Destination Kia of Utica. Puppies and babies not included.
0.9% APR with well-qualified credit through KMF. $16.67 per month per $1,000 finance. 720 plus FICO score. In lieu of rebates, $750 Kia bonus cash is VIN-specific on select vehicles. Offer expires 6/1/26.
Destination Kia. My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hello, I'm Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacenti. This year marks the 250th birthday of the United States, and we've assembled a special commission to help organize events across our community. In the months ahead, we'll highlight why this is such a historic time for our region. From the signing of the Declaration of Independence to the turning point of the Revolutionary War, the Battle of Oriskany. You'll learn about the people, events, and local impact that shaped our nation. Our goal is simple, to help you love the history where you live, right here in Oneida County.
Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Before we get into your, by the way, Tim Julian. Good morning. In studio here this morning. Before we get into your issue today, and I know you have a biggie, we were just talking about going on vacation.
Yes.
And maybe that could mean, maybe it could mean a cruise.
Yeah.
But right now, you got to be a little worried right now.
No, you got to live your life.
You do have to live your life.
Let's stop.
You
this
do.
is one. How many cruises go out of these harbors every single
you
day?
Sucked me right in.
Every single day.
Listen,
Come on.
I'm not
Come
worried.
on.
I'm setting you up to talk about it.
Come on. You got to go
so
do
funny.
it. Just get it done. I mean, you think about it. You know.
Well, we are.
We
are this summer, and
yes,
you know. But I do think you're getting people that are saying, I don't think I'm going to go. We'll just go somewhere to a beach or something.
I remember during COVID, when COVID first started, I flew down to Florida, actually, and I was in the middle seat of a Southwest plane that you couldn't have slipped a dollar bill onto that plane. It was so packed.
Yeah.
And this was in the first week of March of 2020.
We were flying back from somewhere at that time.
And I started to cough, and I swallowed something wrong. I was coughing, and the lady next to me goes, what do you got, that COVID thing?
Yeah.
But if I did it 3 weeks later, I probably would have been ushered off the plane.
So we came back, and there were three of us, and one in our party had probably had COVID.
Yeah.
They didn't test for it when we got back.
Right,
They just tested.
No.
He tested positive for flu.
Yep.
But you could have flu and COVID at the same time, and it was bad. It was all the symptoms that we learned.
Sure.
And he's doing everything he can to not hack up a lung on the way home on this plane. And then he wound up in the hospital. And when we got back, so the transmission of COVID during that period, from when it first started to when we realized this is like a 100-year type thing.
Right. Theoretically.
Think of all of the depends on where you get your news, but think of all of the spreading that went on during that time.
Sure.
I mean, that's where it all
Look,
really
I mean,
spread.
my mother passed away in December of 19, and I was in the hospital visiting her, and she passed away from what they called a pneumonia that they couldn't cure. Now, you're not going to get better in a hospital bed if you have pneumonia and you're 90-some-odd years old. Anyway, but, this happened, and then during her services, my wife got sick, and she had an odd cough. Then a few days later, I started to cough like I never coughed before.
Yeah.
And no one could figure out what it was. I tested for everything except COVID because there wasn't a COVID test.
We
at the
didn't have
time.
any idea.
And I coughed and coughed and coughed, and I got through it, and I'm pretty sure I had it.
Yeah.
And they said, well, you want to test to see if you had it? I said, no. What difference does it
Right,
make?
see the antibodies.
What difference does it make?
Right, at this point. And so my wife got it. We did pretty well. We lasted all through the summer, and then in the fall, obviously when she goes back to school, she got it. And she lost her smell, and it still hasn't completely come back.
Really?
Smell and taste completely. And some of it's come back, but some still hasn't. So that was a unique virus. Something was weird about that.
It was different. Yeah.
Hantavirus.
Hantavirus been around for a long time.
Apparently, it's a real killer. So
depending. I mean,
depending on where your health is, probably.
Yeah, you think about it. And
I mean, if you're picking up the rats when they're running through the hallways on the cruise ship, you're gonna get sick. So
it's the aerosol remains, so the aerosol feces.
Right,
yes,
and it begins to, which is where Gene Hackman's house.
Gene Hackman,
apparently
convenient.
Although
that we had
say
a major movie star died of it a few months back.
They're saying he may not have died of that, but his wife did, and the fact that she couldn't take care of him, he died. I don't know what the story is. But. All right,
you may never know.
In studio is Tim Julian, of course, minority leader on the Board of Legislators in Oneida County, former mayor. Did it feel a little odd setting the council straight once again from the floor of the Common Council?
It's always interesting to go back there and just because it's where everything kind of started for me.
Yeah.
And with that, no, it doesn't feel weird. I mean, they're all people who are trying to do a job. As best they can, and like to see a little more decorum perhaps in the chambers would be nice again, but things happen.
Well, it's a throwback
and
time
sometimes
right now, or throw down time.
Things get heated and things like that, but there's really no reason cause here. Everyone should have the ability to get along well enough before, during, and after.
Well,
realize everyone's trying to do the same thing.
In the 80s and 90s, it was the guys fighting.
It was WWE.
This era, we're looking at the ladies going at it.
Yes.
So. Okay.
So you misspoke a little bit earlier on. You said that this new law that was passed by the Common Council hasn't been passed, hasn't even been brought forward yet, hasn't been introduced yet. But there's talk of it.
Got it.
There's talk of it. But I like the fact that you said that, because I think every landlord out there said, wait a minute, this passed already?
Yeah.
So what I need to have happen.
People got to get a little aware here.
People who are landlords in the city of Utica need to go and speak in front of the Common Council and say this is a bad idea.
All right, what is it? Explain what we'll call it a proposal at this point.
It's in New York City, it's in quite a few cities throughout the state now have adopted it. Syracuse recently voted it down. And what it is good cause eviction, which, as the name would imply, you have to have a good cause to evict someone, to not renew their lease. And tied into that also is you cannot increase the rent, more than 10% or the consumer price index, whichever is lower, of course.
Okay.
You basically, if someone's got a lease, you need to carry it over. You can't just say, okay, you got to go, because now, and this is where the fault in this really lies.
Yeah.
Because as a landlord.
Yeah. Who has the investment, who has the continued investment.
Sure.
Who is required to keep everything up to par.
But as a landlord, if you have a good tenant, you're not throwing them out.
Right.
You're not like, oh, geez, hey, you pay your rent on time. You're respectful. Yeah. You keep the place clean.
We want you out.
And you watch out for things like this. But you know what? I'm going to try my luck with somebody new for a change.
Yeah.
No, you're not going to do that.
Right.
You're not going to do that. And moreover, if you have a good tenant, a lot of times you're not going to raise their rent.
Right.
Because essentially, you're like, no, let's make sure that they stay and
because there's value in a
well-behaved. There's a lot of value in that. There's value in a person who doesn't create problems for you or the building. Now, I can go through a litany of things that happen every day to landlords. The thing I like to point out all the time is, say you had a restaurant and someone came in there and they ate a meal. And, they ate a meal and the cost of the meal was $100.
Yeah.
Whatever. And they got everything run out. They dine and dash on you. That's crime, right?
That's a crime.
They could say, oh, I got their license plate, officer. Here it is. This is who they were.
They'll track them down.
They track them down.
Yep.
Yet you can steal thousands of dollars in rent from a landlord. I call it stealing because you essentially are. You know what you're doing. You know you're not going to pay.
Yep.
You know you're not paying. You know that your rent is due, and walk away, and the court will say, well, it's up to you now. It's up to you to go get them and find out where they work, if they work. You go find out where they're getting their money from, if they are getting money from somewhere. And you have to go track them down and put a judgment against them in order to get some of your money back piecemeal at a time.
Yeah.
So, again, landlords lose thousands of dollars every year in this creep of economy where people just walk away.
And it got worse at COVID.
COVID made it worse. Well, and in particular, right before COVID, Governor then Cuomo came down with a whole new list of things that you had to do if you were a landlord and dealing with your tenants. And I always point out, and I'll put it up in the air here, this is the New York State Attorney General Letitia James's Residential Tenants' Rights Guide. And I always tell people, if you're looking for it online, don't be concerned about changing it with the Landlord's Rights Guide, because there is none. Yeah, there is no such thing as a Landlord's Rights Guide.
This to me reminds me a lot of. So I just so happen to have a child who's renting in New York City, and luckily, I don't know if just we got lucky and she is feisty. They were raising her rent. Now it's a different deal. You have to pay the broker's fee. You have to and rents are, if you can find rent for $3,000 a month, you got a deal.
Yep.
And they were raising it somewhat significantly, but it screwed with her budget, and she fought it and said, okay, well, I'm moving out. And back to that good tenant, we don't want to, who knows what we're going to get. They cut a deal with her. So that's the way it but that's a whole different world. Than what we deal with up here. This is so different.
So many things
apply those standards to up here. I mean, 10% of $3,500 a month could be a tough increase for somebody.
Right. Yes, it can.
Down
there, yes.
And I understand up here, but the problem you have is there's so many stories of you can't get these people out. You're trying to evict, and
they'll point to stories of bad landlords. And if we if they want to point to stories of bad landlords, then we should point to stories of bad tenants. Because basically, you're talking about the same thing. You're judging a person based upon the actions of one, and that's something that occurs constantly and all the time. And one of the things they say and they bandied about is there should be a landlord registry so the tenants can talk about a bad landlord. Now, that's first off, very subjective thing. You may have had a bad experience with a person that everybody else had a great experience with. But write it down there and say, this is like anything. Like you went to a restaurant, you had a bad meal. You went to a hotel, had a bad stay. Any of those things.
There already is one that exists. It's a professor one.
Yeah.
For kids in college, and they rate the professor.
Okay. Right. Oh, yeah, yep. I've seen
already
that.
exists. But
I've seen
if they want one, start it up themselves. The government shouldn't do it.
If we as landlords put together a list and said, here's a list of bad tenants, you can't do it. It'd be illegal. You could be charged with a crime for something like that.
Yeah.
It's really, again, it's extremely subjective. One of the things that, if you go through this guide and you take chance to look at it. And so much stuff applies to New York City, but then there's other things that apply everywhere. There's a there's a timeline on everything. If a tenant does not pay you, you have to wait 5 days, and then you send them this letter, the return receipt requested, $8, by the way, that you have to send to them. They tell them they owe rent, which, by the way, they already know. And after that, then you do this. Then you have so many days again. Then you have 15-day. Then you have a 30-day. Then you get to try to get a court date. Then you get a court date, and the judge will say, well, would you like a hearing? They say, sure, we'd love a hearing, which buys them more time. Meanwhile, they're not paying you.
Right.
But when I asked them from legal aid, I said, what if a tenant just vacates, just gets up and goes? They owe you money, and you haven't seen them in a period of time. And
they're gone.
They're gone. You've put notices on their doors.
Yeah.
Nothing's gotten moved. Then they say, well, that depends. What do you mean it depends?
Right,
There's a finite number for everything, except when you're dealing with the landlord.
There should be a warrant at that point. That's thievery.
It's thievery anyway.
Right.
And we got robbed of a lot of money during COVID. And I pointed out, everyone talks about let's incentivize small business. We need small business. We need business here. We need small business. Landlords are small businesses.
Right.
Whether you want to believe that or not, they are small businesses. But this is how I make my living. This is how a lot of people I know make their living. And, contributing, over $100,000 a year in property tax, over $100,000 a year to, in water bills, $100,000 in national grid, a lot of money in cable and internet, $30,000 in insurance, which goes to, local brokers. Close to $100,000 a year in maintenance and whether it's new refrigerators, new stoves, cabinets, bath, what have you.
Right.
And these are all things that people want to see a small business do, is contribute back to the economy, which they do. But the trouble is, everyone sees the money you're taking in.
How do you come up? How do you come up with because there are situations in Utica where you have, and I think it's almost always an absentee landlord.
Mm-hmm.
The place is. There is maybe mental health included in the problem.
Yep.
The place is disgusting, cockroaches and rats and everything else.
Yep.
And they're living in conditions they should not be living in. How do we fix that problem when, oh, by the way, the state has really taken away many of the services that used to be there for these people? How do we now?
You're starting to tie it into even the homeless situation at this point.
Yes.
But if you look at, if you go up and down Genesee Street, you got 2 vacant buildings, by Genesee and Oswego Street right now that are large buildings that I think one's 35 unit, 40 units, something like that, and the other one's pretty close to that. And these are things that landlords are looking at these and saying, is it worth my while to fix this or not?
Yeah.
Because you're unfortunately you're going to get a tenant that's you may put $5,000 and you may put $10,000 into a unit, but reality is, in the city of Utica, for example, I get inspected by Utica Fire Department every 3 years. You get inspected by the Codes Department, I think every 2 or 3 years.
Yep.
You get inspected by Section 8. If you have a Section 8 tenant, they will come and inspect that apartment. If you have any of these other agencies that you may deal with tenants, they're going to come and inspect you also. So the amount of inspections that you get is pretty crazy, considering. And a lot of times you're paying for those inspections as well. You're not just getting the inspections. You have to pay for them, for the privilege of them coming out and inspecting your domicile. So it makes it difficult, but at the same time, you have this apartment and you say, well, this was inspected, and that Codes will come back or one of the agencies will come back and say, well, they've got cockroaches. Well, they didn't when you moved in. You looked at it. You saw it.
Yep.
You saw that this didn't happen, but they brought it in. People will go walk on the street and they will see a boom box at the curb, a TV at the curb, something like that. Say, hey, I wonder if this works. Bring it home. Hey, it works.
Right.
The reason it's at the curb is because it's infested with bugs, because
and you're bringing
bugs
it home.
Are attracted to these residents on a high
I will tell you that I know somebody that worked at Spectrum, and their biggest problem was the boxes coming back.
I'll bet.
Just brutal.
Yeah.
Really a problem.
And this is things that people don't think about. But to have an exterminator come in is, again, a $300 charged right off the bat.
Yep.
Right off the bat. And then you have to retreat, and you retreat again.
Yep.
But if you don't want the infestation, you need to do that. So this is something. I mean,
and there's a good chance if they're bringing stuff back and forth, they're going to reinfect the place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're not going to get rid of what they, the treasure that they found on the street.
Yes.
So, the landlord business is, and as they said in The Godfather, this is the business we've chosen.
Yeah.
So I'm not looking for sympathy, but what I'm looking for is a fair playing field.
Yeah.
Which what this will do is they say it will take and it will balance things out. People will have the opportunities to stay in their apartment. What it'll do is it'll actually buy a bad tenant another month.
We're really only the good tenants already have probably a pretty good situation right now.
Good tenants are what everyone aspires to have.
Yeah.
And when you have a good tenant, and I've had tenants that have been good, but at the same time, they've created issues other places.
Right.
So they've kept their places up, but they've had issues with their neighbors. They've had issues with their neighbors, but they haven't. So there's all sorts of good tenants, but when everyone gets along, it's wonderful. But that's rare.
I have a friend in the apartment world who just sold everything and said, I can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
And this just is only going to make it worse.
But think about this. Like I have a building that I've had for 40 years. Okay. In that building that I've had for 40 years, I've sided it, put windows in it, put a couple of roofs on it. I put new kitchens in it. I've put new bathrooms in it, new furnaces, new hot water tanks. So whatever I paid for it when I bought it, yes, I've made money on it for 40 years, but at the same time, I put money back in for 40 years to spun the economy. Now, due to the way the taxes, your income taxes work, you deplete and depreciate that down. So right now, there's what they call a basis of zero on that building, that there's no depreciation left in that building, so it's worth zero accounting-wise.
Mm-hmm.
If I sell that building tomorrow, 40% of that goes to capital gains taxes.
Right. Yeah.
So everything I've worked for this, we'll look at, you've got this wonderful, nest egg sitting there in this house. You really don't, because the government has 40% of that nest egg sitting in their pocket, unless you take and you buy something else with it and you transfer it over.
Aren't there already rules in place? Like if you're a landlord and the place is unsafe, something has happened, there was a leak in the roof, and now all of a sudden there's mold. There are already rules and regulations.
There's habitability
in
rules.
place.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
So,
There's habitability rules. Again, I do
and
point
the other
out.
problem, if I could, is we do not have a high rent problem in this area.
We don't have a high rent problem in this area. We have a lot of people who are mad because the rents are higher than they were before.
Yeah.
And they think that that's unreasonable, but in fact, it's still a very, very reasonable place to live. I point to the residential tenants' rights guide that's online, and you can download it and you can print it out, as I have, from the New York State Attorney General. It's right on her website. And I point to that because this is something that will show you that everything this good cause eviction is trying to do is already here.
Yeah.
And it's right here in this booklet. There are restrictions on everything that you can do as a landlord and what you have to do as a landlord. And yes, you need to keep your property up. That's the main thing. And and again, there are good landlords out there who do that.
Yeah.
There are other landlords out there who don't. There are good tenants out there who maintain their property like it's their own once they get in there. There are other tenants in there. I mean, I've had tenants who've literally written on light fixtures on the ceiling with a Sharpie. How do you even do that?
Right.
How do you even do that?
Yeah.
I mean, if you can see if they're doing that, that's not the only thing they're doing.
Yeah.
But that's just one of those things you look at.
What are they writing on there? Like put bulb here, or graffiti?
Just squiggles.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, let me.
Stupid.
There's something I haven't written on yet.
How difficult is it right now under the current law to evict somebody? It
takes a while.
It still takes a while.
It takes a while. And one of the issues that I have that some other people don't have is because I was in the political arena. I know judges, and I went to high school with one of the city court judges, and with something like that, I have to I can only go in front of one judge out of the three.
Right.
And you have to wait for their end of schedule. So it really kind of pushes that timeline for me out further a lot of the times. Or they have to bring a special judge in from Rome or someplace else, which is, a nuisance.
Yep. All right. So people should voice their.
I think landlords should show up at the Utica Common Council meetings the first and third Wednesday of every month. Show up around 6:45 or so. Sign up to speak up at the podium, and they will let you speak. You get your 3 minutes, and just let the council know that they are not in favor of this.
Yeah.
One thing they have said is they haven't heard from a lot of landlords. They've heard from people who want this, who, there's certain political sects that want this, and there's others that most likely won't. But we need to have the people who will have to deal with this every single day. Again, and you're impacting small business. And one ride up and down Genesee Street will tell you that we cannot afford to have any more, because we do have a housing shortage here. We cannot afford.
It's about to get much worse.
It's about to get much worse.
Yeah.
And if we we're going to continue to shut down buildings if that's the case, because people are going to continue to move and say, not worth it. This rental business is not worth it. So.
And a good example is the Obelston and what they have invested in that place.
Yeah.
And they said we're going to inspect every month. We're going to make sure that this doesn't go back to where it was. I've not been in since, but I hope that's the case.
I hope so too,
because it was really nice when they finished it.
Yeah, it was nice. A lot of money, a lot of
money went in there. So,
and that's again, that's what private landlords compete with. Also, we compete with millions of dollars of monies that come from other sources.
Right.
And we're footing the bill on our own.
Yep. Tim Julian, we appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate talking about this.
See where it goes.
Let's go.
All of it goes. Stand by. We'll do Davey Hobaika's free money question. We're at 375. Thank you for remembering. Let's do caller number 10 right now for 375 at 315-736-0186. Caller number 10 right now. Your chance to win from Hobaika and WIBX.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hurt in a car? Call William Attar. 315-444-4444.
Memorial Day sale is on at Mattress Express. Get up to a $1,000 prepaid gas card on select new King and Queen mattress sets. Take up to 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers. A $500 gas card on massage chairs. Go to mattressexpressny.com.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton. When you've worked hard to build something meaningful, protecting it should be part of your plan. At Hilton Estate and Elder Law, we help families navigate the complexities that come with significant assets, especially estate taxes and long-term care considerations. We break down the implications, explore smart strategies, and help reduce future tax exposure and nursing home costs. Because no two families are alike, every plan is tailored to fit your situation.
Hilton, you know the name. They know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
You're great at protecting your data, but lots of places could still expose you to identity theft.
I thought it was safe.
If that happens, LifeLock gives you a U.S.-based restoration agent who will stick by your side from start to finish. Phone calls, filing documentation, preparing insurance claims, your agent handles it all. In fact, we're so confident restoration is guaranteed or your money back. Isn't it nice to have someone like that on your side? Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
The Whitesboro Central School District is hiring bus drivers to support its transportation team. Serving 7 schools and more than 3,100 students, Whitesboro is one of Central New York's leading school systems, with an impressive 96% graduation rate. As a driver, you'll enjoy flexible scheduling, benefits, and opportunities for summer work. It's an ideal role for retirees, career changers, or anyone ready to make a real impact in their community. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or visit 20 Wood Road in Whitesboro today.
Any rain will move out early on this Friday, and the sun will break through during the afternoon hours with a high of 64. Clouds will increase this evening with an overnight low in the mid-40s. Then a warmer weekend, a sunny start to Saturday with a slight chance for an afternoon shower to high near 80, and some sunshine on Sunday with a high reaching the upper 70s. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
It's hard to know what to do when you lose a loved one. You need someone you can trust to help you navigate all the options. Mohawk Valley Monuments has been providing comfort and delivering quality memorials in our community for over 95 years. Mohawk Valley Monuments has experience with all the local cemeteries, from simple grave markings to intricate family mausoleums. For personalized service, call us today at 315-724-7629 or visit us at mohawkvalleymonuments.com.
You're great at protecting your data, but lots of places could still expose you to identity theft.
I thought it was safe.
If that happens, LifeLock gives you a U.S.-based restoration agent who will stick by your side from start to finish. Phone calls, filing documentation, preparing insurance claims, your agent handles it all. In fact, we're so confident restoration is guaranteed or your money back. Isn't it nice to have someone like that on your side? Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Meet Anthony Constantino, running to represent us in Congress.
First off, you, I see through your game.
Wannabe rapper, wannabe Republican. But he can't rap his way out of reality. He's a lifelong Democrat who helped fund Trump's impeachment. After the George Floyd riots, he called our cops racist and sold Kill the Police stickers. He claims he's America first, but he shipped jobs overseas, even replaced workers with robots. Anthony Constantino, worse than a wannabe. He's a fraud.
And I know just how this ends.
The real conservative in the race? Robert Smullen, a Marine colonel. He fought for our country. Smullen was appointed by President Trump and will fight for the America First agenda. He's the Republican conservative and law enforcement endorsed candidate. On June 23rd, vote Robert Smullen for Congress. Proven patriot, ready to serve.
I'm Robert Smullen, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Robert Smullen for Congress.
Blues fans, get ready to hit the road. The New York State Blues Fest is back this June, bringing the soul, grit, and groove to the New York State Fairgrounds in Syracuse. Featuring Grammy-winning powerhouse Gary Clark Jr., plus a full lineup of world-class blues, rock, and roots artists. It's free, outdoors, and one of the biggest blues festivals in the Northeast. Make it a weekend. RV spots are still available. The New York State Blues Fest. Learn more at nysbluesfest.com.
Start your savings at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Now through May 31st, get up to $180 back on a Bridgestone prepaid MasterCard. Get $80 back when you buy a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone tires. Get an additional $100 when you make an eligible tire purchase with your CFNA credit card. Don't wait. These offers end May 31st. Visit Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, or online at tallmanstire.com.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, it's time for Hobica's free money question of the day, and it's worth $375. Davey, you're going to be in big trouble. And it comes from the Hobica Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobica, at 315-724-1600. For all of your legal needs, call the Hobica, Hobika, Hobica Law Firm at 315-724-1600. On the line right now is Vanessa in Utica. Hello, Vanessa. Good morning. Oh, I got to hit you there. I'll try that again. Hello, Vanessa. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing? You ready to go here?
I'm ready.
You know how this goes. Do you have any help in the background to assist you here, or are you all on your own?
I have 2 dogs barking and just me to answer questions.
All right. The dogs will help for luck. Maybe for luck. All right. Here we go. This is your question. Think about it. And for $375, here it is. Which sporting event requires its participants to dress only in white? Ready, go.
Would it be tennis?
It is, but you got to name. But well, listen, you got to name the event. It's the event.
Oh, the event. Would it be Wimbledon?
All right. I'm going to give it to you because it's Wimbledon and it's worth 300 and it's been a while. Listen, Vanessa, it's been a while. We haven't had a winner in a while, so we're going to, I don't know, I'll get in trouble for this. Stretch the rules just a little bit.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
It is tennis and the event is Wimbledon.
Go, Vanessa.
Go, Vanessa. That's great. I love it. All right, Vanessa. And we're also going to give you on top of this, you're just going to be loaded. Jackson Auto Outlet and Taylor's Trailers, they are giving you a $99 oil change absolutely free. Call them today at 315-335-3888. They offer, of course, autos, ATVs, and trailers all in one place, 7113 East Dominic Street in Rome. So, all right, Vanessa, nice job.
Thank you. I couldn't be more appreciative. What a great start to my day.
All right. So you stand by, and Davey's going to hook you up. All right?
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You do the same. Davey Hobika's going to get you $375. I'm glad she won, though. I kind of let her win, Brian Miller. I could not let that out of technicality.
You had to. She had tennis, and then it just.
She had tennis before the buzzer. She had to come up with the name, and she got it, and there we go. Obviously, Vanessa, much more successful than the governor has been in putting a budget together.
Absolutely. I wish that I wish we were having a Hubika day today at Albany.
Right. That's right. We could do it. I almost feel like you and I could go out there and solve the whole problem, and we'd be fine. But this fighting back and forth is all within the downstate, especially Democratic Party.
Well, it's downstate. It's all within the Democratic Party.
Yeah. They hold all the keys here.
They hold the keys, and it's been really an unfortunate budget time. We've tied the record now for the longest budget. The last time we were at what are we at? It's 2010 was the last time we were here with 13 budget extenders.
Now I was told, and you tell me if this is wrong. The date is like June. First of all, Marianne Buttonsean says she thinks voting we'll be voting on this next week. You'll be voting on this next week. But I was told that there is a drop dead deadline. And that is like June 5th or 6th because the leadership has decided an early vacation now. The summer recess starts early, and it's right around June 5th or 6th. And because they all have plans probably to go somewhere.
Well, that's the end of session, and a lot of the downstate majority members are being primaried.
Right.
Okay, so they got that coming up. Hopefully, it's all rumors you hear. It's in the elevator. It's here. It's there. Last year the governor came out and she announced that they have a deal.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened this year. The majority leadership went
last
wild.
week, she said the deal was coming and everybody went nuts.
So if everything holds true to the last year, it was 1 week later and we started voting on it. But next week we go into Memorial Day weekend.
Right.
So we got a lot of things going on.
Talking to Assemblyman Brian Miller, and you do not have a primary.
No, I don't.
But you do have
I do have a general.
And I find it very interesting because one of the things that the Democratic leadership wanted to do is come up with this public match, which if you're not a part of it, you're making a mistake because your opponent, who you never have heard of, is going to be a part of it.
Once your opponent gets into it, you have really no chance.
You've got to compete.
I voted no for it, and I've had to use it last cycle because my opponent jumped into it. And, they can raise up to $175,000.
And what is the match, by the way? It's for every dollar, or
it all changes.
There's a sliding.
Yeah, it's a sliding scale, and it can be a 12-to-1 match, 10-to-1 match. It all depends on how much you donate, but it's all low dollar donations.
So what I find interesting, though, is this has kind of come back to bite Democrats. The Democrats who may not have had a strong opposition. As you said, many of them, almost all of these races are now contested.
Oh, everything's contested.
So I'm not sure they love that.
Well, they kind of. I don't think they like it either.
Running unopposed is
if you're running unopposed, or if if your opponent doesn't hit deadlines to get in to qualify, for the match, there it is. But it's not right. It's taxpayers' dollars used for political campaigns.
And listen, I being someone who does media and full disclosure, I do work for your campaign. There are people out there that are good at the ground game and good at raising the money, and those people have kind of. I almost think that they'll just find a heartbeat to be able to say, okay, well, you run. I'm going to raise the money, and then the consultant makes a ton of money.
Absolutely. It's set up businesses, and it's been done down in the city for years now. They've brought it across the state.
Yeah. What are the sticking issues on this budget? I know one of them is auto insurance.
Auto insurance, moving the CLCPA dates back. We're getting flooded with a lot of emails to keep it where they are. Even moving it back, I don't know where all the members are. I'm sure the upstate members are all for it, but just moving the dates back doesn't do anything for it. Right. It kicks the can down the road.
On the auto insurance, I've gathered it sounds that there's corruption. There are people that are staging accidents. They're using oftentimes immigrants.
Yep.
And they'll go to a doctor who may not be
the most
not a good citizen, who are performing. Now the immigrant gets paid, but the person that set the whole thing up makes the big money, and so does the doctor.
Absolutely.
And they're literally performing back surgery on people that don't need it. Now that sounds like this should be an easy fix. But all of it, but from what I've been told, and you tell me, it's gone. The swing and the pendulum has gone so far the other way. It's totally to the advantage of the insurance company.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There was a hearing on this, and I was there for the hearing. It was during the budget, and there was arguments both ways.
Yeah.
And the insurance companies were arguing hard. The trail attorneys were arguing hard too. So I don't know where we are with that. It's probably not going to be a fix. It's going to be another one of these. We're going to put a Band-Aid on it, or we're going to swing the pendulum so far it's going to screw everything up.
And the problem when that pendulum does go too far, all of a sudden the person who is legitimately in an accident will be so limited they're not going to be able to get their medical needs taken care of.
Right. So this can't be fixed in 2 or 3 months.
Right,
this has got to be a project worked on by the legislature over a set amount of time.
Yeah.
It just can't be done this way. But one of the things that's really happening right now, the school budget votes are coming out next week.
Yeah.
And we've really handcuffed all our superintendents in the area. And I know the rule of thumb is use what the governor put in her executive budget, and that was a 1% increase. I know in the Senate one house and the Assembly one house there was another % increase there.
Yeah.
But it's going to dictate where the property taxes are going to be, if there's going to be any layoffs in the schools with their teaching staff, and it's not fair for the legislature and the governor to hold these school districts.
Well, and you have now. They're pushing the school bus mandate, the electric bus mandate back.
Well, back 5 years,
but still, it still exists. And the other thing is they're mandating pre-K in 2 years.
Yep. So there's a lot of costs coming in there, and it's a very dysfunctional time right now in Albany. I've been there for this is my 10th budget, and when I first went there was $104 billion. Now we're up to $270 billion.
Yeah.
So there's a spending problem, and now they're fighting within themselves a majority.
Yeah.
And let's see where it takes us. Hopefully next week we'll be there.
Are you hearing the same thing?
Well, I heard it's going to be next week, and then somebody else told me yesterday, we're looking at June. So
okay.
Hopefully, Monday we're going to pass our 13th extender to keep things going. Maybe there will be a message of necessity for the governor. The bills will start coming out, and away we'll go.
And for you, anything that's priority for you for this area right now?
Right now, we just need our fair share of money for roads.
Yeah.
That's what we really need. We've all driven around these roads; they're in a mess right now.
Yeah.
They put it in, in the 2 one-house budgets proposals. They put in $250 million more for chips, but we're not even touching what's going on here.
Right.
But big thing for me this weekend, my son's graduating from college.
Okay, that's huge.
Yeah, so that's and so I'm glad we're not going to be there voting on. I wouldn't be there voting on any budget stuff.
Well, this is it is awesome and huge, but at the same time, he was playing baseball, wasn't he?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, that was a proud day, but it was a sad day.
Yeah.
You look back at all the travel baseball that you participated in, up and down the East Coast and everywheres, and all the teammates we had. And, at the end of the game, I was lucky enough, his last few pitches where you struck the guy out.
Nice.
I got the baseball.
That's awesome.
So I made sure the second baseman grabbed that baseball for me.
Yeah.
But there was 14 seniors out there in the field all crying.
Wow.
And it was,
tough.
it was tough.
Yeah, yep, it's tough. And it's tough for the parents, too.
Yes, it is.
But the graduation day is exciting. And
exciting. It's a new chapter. Here we go. And hopefully we have a new chapter in Albany on Monday. And I get back from graduation, and away we go.
All right. We'll see what happens, Brian. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sullivan Brian Miller. Davey, do I have something to do here or no? Okay. Oh, you want me to go to the top? I can do that. You just let me know. All right. Coming up next hour, Roseanne Leparco from the Cooperative Extension. I want to get her in. And Scott in Kirkville says there's a way you can win some money this weekend in the Preakness, which is tomorrow. And he's going to walk you through that coming up. Thank you, Brian.
And Mayor Gleamy's going to be calling in from Albany to give us an update on the South Utica Firehouse.
Yeah, we'll get that from the mayor as well coming up in just a few minutes. I want to tell you about Insera's Flooring Outlet. For years, Insera's has been the go-to when it comes to flooring, and nobody has more experience than Insera's. Give you some examples. Jason, Allen, and Fran, some of the flooring specialists. They have over 100 years of combined flooring experience between the three of them. Sam Rudolph, Insera's store manager, home improvement his entire life. And then there's Sal, owner, operator, Sal and Sarah of Insera's Flooring Outlet. And he has all the experience in the world in the flooring business. Of course, all of this experience, plus Insera's offers the top name brands in floor covering and unbeatable prices. So what it means for you is if it's flooring you're looking for, the people at Insera's have you covered. They know the flooring business like no one else. Why would you go anywhere else? So see why more people buy from the big store, Insera's Flooring Outlet, River Road, Marcy, and Insera's Flooring Outlet.com. And then I'll do, let me do one more here to tell you about the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. Accepting new patients right now. It's the premier osteopathic medical clinic in the area. And that means they go the extra step to allow your body, maybe that doesn't mean a lot of medicine, to allow your body to help repair itself, and preventative as well, which is what their OMT, osteopathic manipulation treatment, is all about. It keeps everything flowing, everything from your sinuses to your entire body. And it's a monthly procedure. Call about it at 315-507-4751. Or if you're in need of a new family doctor, the Falcon Clinic has you covered as well. They've added Dr. Cheryl Mattern, along with others, Dr. Zielinski, Dr. Shemaleski, and also Dr. Kosminski, who offers acupuncture. It's all there under one roof. It's the Falcon Clinic. Call today at 315-507-4751. Maybe your doctor is retired. Maybe you've decided you just want to move on for whatever reason that might be. Or maybe you want to, it's just time. Call today. They can get you in first appointment usually within a week or two. 315-507-4751 for the Falcon Clinic located in Washington Mills. All right, Davey, next hour. By the way, don't forget, Mets and Yankees tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday afternoon. The Subway Series getting underway tonight. Got a break. News is next.
WIBX Utica Road, from the WB Payne Insurance Studio, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
We're hearing from President Trump on Air Force One. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. After leaving China following 2 days of talks with leader Xi Jinping.
Amazing period of time. President Xi's an incredible guy.
And the president just told reporters a short time ago the conflict with Iran was an issue.
On Iran, it's very interesting. He feels strongly they can't have a nuclear weapon.
And he says China wants the Strait of Hormuz back open since they buy most of Iran's oil. As for another big issue they discussed,
On Taiwan, he does not want to see a fight for independence because that would be a very strong confrontation.
but the president says he did not make a commitment. The U.S. backs Taiwan militarily. China considers the island its territory. Fox's Mark Meredith reports from the White House the president will return around dinner time to Washington.
The two leaders talked a lot about trade while he was over there. The president says he left China with a commitment that it'll spend a lot more of its money on American products, from Boeing airplanes to soybeans. The president says bringing CEOs along with him helps sell America.
We have about 30 of the biggest business leaders in the world, biggest everything, you name it, from chips to planes to everything.
Women across the country can continue to get an abortion pill by mail after a Supreme Court decision to keep a lower court ruling on hold.
That ruling determined an in-person visit to a doctor was necessary to receive the medication. Thursday, the High Court granted the drug maker's emergency request while the legal challenge plays out. The original case challenging the use of the drug was brought by the state of Louisiana, which sued the Food and Drug Administration to challenge a regulation that allowed mifepristone to be prescribed through telehealth and dispensed by mail, arguing it violated the state's sovereignty.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. While 18 Americans remain in quarantine after being taken off that hantavirus-stricken cruise ship, they're in Nebraska and Georgia. None currently have tested positive for it. The CDC monitoring 23 other people in several states for any virus symptoms. America's listening to Fox News.
For 250 years, Americans have believed in one powerful idea, that we were meant to live free. Free to work hard, free to move, free to enjoy life without being held back. But if everyday aches and pains are slowing you down, it might be time to declare your independence from pain. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free, research-based formula designed to help your body fight inflammation, one of the root causes of pain. It's not a quick fix or a temporary mask. It works from the inside out, at the source. Relief Factor was created so people could get back to living life on their terms, walking, working, exercising, and enjoying the moments that matter. This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take a stand for your own freedom. Declare your independence from pain. Try Relief Factor today for just $19.95. Your 3-week quick start is ready for you. Visit relieffactor.com or call 800-4-RELIEF.
There is an empty cell on death row in Texas after the state's 600th execution since 1976.
Prosecution and defense experts all agreed that Edward Busby was intellectually disabled, but that didn't stop his being put to death by way of a lethal injection. A lower court ordered the execution held up, but that was overturned by the Supreme Court.
And it's Fox's Gary Baumgarten. In his last words, Busby apologized, saying he never meant for the 77-year-old woman he kidnapped in 2004 to die. Then he died. It's been several weeks since 3 members of Congress resigned. Democrat Sheila Sherfilis McCormick over fraud allegations. Fellow Democrat Eric Swalwell is facing multiple accusations of sexual misconduct. And Republican Tony Gonzalez over an affair with a staffer who committed suicide. And now another House Republican is under scrutiny.
The Ethics Committee is investigating allegations of sexual harassment and creating a hostile work environment. Chuck Edwards, a Republican from North Carolina and married, is accused of inappropriate conduct with younger female staffers. Axios reports, for example, one now former staffer complained about Edwards pressuring her to go out for dinner and drinks, and when she left, wrote her a note telling her she'd, quote, written a complex chapter in my heart. The congressman says in a statement, I'm confident the investigation will expose the facts, not politically motivated fiction. He's running for re-election in the House since 2023. Chris Foster, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are down big the day after record highs for the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. Oil prices up 3%. Round 2 is underway this morning at the PGA Championship at Aronimink in Pennsylvania outside Philadelphia. Golf's second major championship of the year. 7 golfers are tied for the lead after round 1 at 3 under par, including defending champion Scotty Scheffler.
It's a really tight leaderboard. So at this moment, it's anybody's tournament. But like you said, it's nice to get off to a good start.
Scheffler will tee off for his second round in about a half hour. In the NHL playoffs, the Vegas Golden Knights advanced to the Western Conference Final, eliminating Anaheim. Montreal took a 3-2 series lead over Buffalo. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Any rain will move out early on this Friday, and the sun will break through during the afternoon hours with a high of 64. Clouds will increase this evening with an overnight low in the mid-40s. Then a warmer weekend, a sunny start to Saturday with a slight chance for an afternoon shower to high near 80, and some sunshine on Sunday with a high reaching the upper 70s. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
All right, great weekend on the way. We deserve it. And then I can't even believe Monday and Tuesday, looking up into the upper 80s to low 90s. Crazy. And then it'll go back down to something more seasonable, but at least, 68 to 75 over the next few days into next week. But right now, one more day of rain to deal with, and cooler temperatures, 47 and cloudy. Coming up, we'll speak with Mayor Mike Galimi in regards to the firehouse closing. We'll get to that coming up in a second. Couple things. River Hills Properties continues to serve people here in upstate New York and beyond. Offices in Barneveld and Little Falls, in Rome and Newport. River Hills Properties has you covered. You can go to their website at rhpcells.com. And if you're considering maybe the snowbird concept, where this winter was just a little too much, you want to do winters down there, summers up here, or you just want to get out of Dodge, they have an office ready to take care of you in Sarasota, Naples, Marco Island. It's just that Gulf Coast side of Florida is beautiful, and the water, the shore is so much different than on the Atlantic side. But it's beautiful. It's River Hills Properties. They have you covered. Remember, no lockbox. Your listing agent's there every time the house is shown. Call them today, 315-896-1009. Remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties. Got a bunch of comments to get to, and we'll get into those coming up in a second. First, though, let me bring in Mayor Mike Galimi. Mayor, good morning.
How you doing, Bill?
Doing well.
Thanks for having me on at short notice, but Jeff was texting with me saying, hey, you want to come on Friday? And I was hoping I could slip in, so thank you.
All right, I'm glad you did. Jeff is not with us this morning, and that sounds so permanent, but that's not the case.
Okay.
Jeff is off this morning. So, all right, Firehouse.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are some people that are pushing back on this, saying that if you're at the furthest extreme of the district, like maybe at the New Hartford Utica line, it's going to be a much longer trip. God forbid somebody needs an ambulance or a fire truck. But from what we're hearing, things are maybe a little dangerous for the firefighters.
So what I wanted to do was call in for two reasons this morning. One, address the call volume and where the calls will be serviced from, and then just talk a little bit about how we're dealing with the issue in real time.
Okay.
So the service area, we just renovated West Utica a couple of years ago, and that renovation it was out of service for 9 months. When the West Utica house was out of service, we serviced all of those calls out of South Utica. So out of the Shepherd Place Firehouse, actually. And this is something that, happened in real time over 9 months. Calls were serviced mainly out of South Utica, servicing West Utica, and then the other firehouses, just like they normally do. If people are already on the call, would do that. So we've done something similar, except the calls are now serviced out of what's considered Park Ave, Station 7, right, Oneida Square, which is a closer proximity to most of South Utica than West Utica was to South, et cetera, for a lot of that. So that's been handled. It is nerve-wracking. I understand the angst, but we've had to deal with those issues prior because of renovations for a longer period than we expect to deal with this repair. And then as far as the repair is concerned, what we're doing right now is we had a structural engineer come in. They're going to do a core analysis of that actual floor to see if we can repair it in place, shore it up, so that we can take part in our longer-term study, which was going to be, when I say long-term, like a quote on a structural analysis on if we could repair in place, convert that to a slab, on grade, or possibly put an addition on, because that's, when you see something like this happen, it's an obvious signal that even though we've known since the late 90s that some of these firehouses have had, this one included, to be renovated and or replaced, we're dealing with it as quickly as we can.
Yeah. Okay. Some hearing some rumblings. Why not? Why didn't you use ARPA funding for something like this?
Well, I wasn't the guy at the time, so that is a very interesting question. A lot of us were critiqued about it across the board, and a lot of us provided critique. West Utica Firehouse, for example, was renovated through ARPA funding. At the time, the decision wasn't made to do that to this one. This firehouse in particular, though, I've even taken over the last year part in conversations of, do we repair this in place and do the proper modifications to it? Do we possibly extend to the left and allow a slab on grade place for all the actual apparatus so the house can remain and be expanded? Or is this a situation where we have to build a new firehouse?
Yeah.
Now, if you remember the CDS grant award from a couple years ago, the current funding we have aligned was to prepare a shovel-ready project to put a new public safety station in or around the Oneida Square area. The reality is that now may have shifted priority to Shepherd Place, but we're going to make sure that we can put Shepherd Place back in service as quickly as possible and move forward with the planned, moves forward that we have to make because we have, 6 houses. This just happened at City Hall over the past year and a half. Myself, the deputy engineer, and the engineering department had to do an analysis on the fact that the garage under City Hall we've had to remove vehicles from because that is experiencing a similar issue. So this is not a unique problem that the city has at Shepherd Place. This is a unique problem where over the last 30 years we have not really paid attention to our infrastructure. So we are now, and in the meantime, we're going to have emergencies like this, and we're handling them as best as possible. And in case of the service volume, like I explained, this is a very similar situation that we dealt with when we renovated West Utica.
All right. And what when you need to, I was told people have been in the basement, and and for a long time this has been a problem that needed to be corrected. But even throughout the firehouse, these are living conditions that are just not up to par by any means.
Well, exactly. And when West Utica was being renovated by ARPA, the question was, why not also Shepherd Place, right?
Yeah.
And we are moving through capital projects through municipal bonding, just like we are. We did have to slow down capital bonding when I took office because our debt service was spiking. And now we've been ramping that type of stuff back up now that we've got those financial, implications under control, if you will.
Right.
So,
all right, Mayor, I appreciate it. And by the way, you have an upcoming event here to raise money.
Yes, we do have on May 30th the mayor's benefit gala coming up for Abraham House. It's going to be another great party. And you can get your tickets at the Utica Mayor's BenefitGala.com website if people are interested in supporting the Abraham House, which I know the entire community is. There's been a generous outpouring of support and sponsorships for the event. And my wife and I, Gina Cha-Cha, the entire board at Abraham House.
It's a great organization,
super excited to raise money for Abraham House on May 30th.
And then if the fireworks thing. When you said when you made the decision, we're going to have the fireworks at the Harbor Point location, did you expect the kind of pushback you're getting from some people?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
And I wanted to kind of offset that with how we released all of the materials when we had the Harbor Point grand opening, for example, when we did the Albany Symphony, on July 3rd last year at Harbor Point. So what you'll see is in the next week or so, a very similar landing page with all the maps, where all the parking is, how it will work, all the food trucks, all the kids type stuff. And what people will be happy to see, I think, once they actually give us a week or two to get the rest of those materials out there and distributed, that there will be alternate viewing areas as well. The parking, we actually have way more parking than ever. The service area for the bus loops is actually a quicker loop that'll be much more efficient and be able to get people to the location. And then on top of that, it's going to be an unbelievable viewing space from the harbor, but also from the rest of downtown. A lot of other residential neighborhoods in downtown that people have not thought of. And it's really going to be cool to bring it to the Civic Center and kind of give the whole city the fireworks for the first time in a long time and celebrate our harbor. It's going to be great.
And if I could do one more, it seems like these issues are small compared to the big issues, but the bathrooms at Proctor Park. Or at the
bathrooms at Proctor Park, all the parks, right?
Yeah.
So the legislation that passed basically just said that the mayor's authorized to do this. I was already authorized to do that. And the reality is, even up to the day before that was passed, Heather Wasilewski, the person who sponsored that legislation, was on the phone with my chief of staff, and we were having a conversation of, yes, let's sit down, send us all the details you'd like, because we want to work through that. As an administration, as a mayor who has been really doubling down on rebuilding a lot of the parks in West Utica, doing all the necessary improvements, the ADA compliance, and upgrading the soccer fields and the baseball fields and making sure they're maintained. I want those bathrooms open more as well. And the legislation was passed like it was, but we were already working internally on that as well. So it's just another thing that we're going to keep improving on, right? The bathrooms were already open for permitted events. They were already open for a certain amount of time, from the Youth Bureau. We did have specific times they were already open. So this is more of an extension, but that's where we are.
All right. And the other thing is when you step onto the floor, out of your bed in the morning, do you expect to get pushback from that?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
just checking.
Yes,
That's a Joe Beatrice opinion there. That no matter what you do, you're going to get resistance. It could be the greatest idea in the world, and I'm a firm believer of pick your battles. Some of these battles seem to make no sense.
Well, it's not just a pick your battles thing. When you run for mayor, and it's funny, like I'm at the New York Conference of Mayors right now with literally hundreds of mayors from across the state. And it's a shared responsibility when you run for office that you expect to deal with hard decisions every day. You expect to deal with pushback every day. And those are the things you still have to consider.
Yeah.
You can't let it make you become cynical. You still have to have appropriate empathy and understanding for why people are saying what they're saying, because somewhere buried in even the craziest message is a message you need to listen to.
Yep.
So that's kind of how I look at it. Just wake up and try and do good things every day and have the right intentions and rinse and repeat, right?
Rinse and repeat.
The situation with the firehouse or what we have to do to, kind of change things up and move the fireworks, or what you just said about the park bathrooms.
Yeah.
Those are the things elected officials deal with, and we love to do it. So.
Rinse and repeat. Not a line that I use often, but we'll let it go.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Hair, right? It's the hair joke.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, Mayor. Thank you. And back to work over there. Thank you so much.
Exactly. Have a good day.
All right, Mayor Mike Galimi. Stand by. Coming up, Roseanne Leparco, Master Gardener with the Cooperative Extension. Love getting her in. She's all excited because we're going to the 70s and 80s and maybe even 90s over the next 5 days. Wow. All of it coming up at WIBX.
The Utica Mayor's Benefit Gala lighting the way is Saturday, May 30th at 6 p.m. at the Delta benefiting Abraham House. A guaranteed evening of amazing food, drinks, and entertainment by Showtime, Last Left, Just Joe, Nick Bontempo, and more. Tickets can be purchased at uticamayorsbenefitgala.com. It's an evening filled with community connection and purpose, all while supporting compassionate end-of-life care for those who need it most. It's a big party for all. We hope to see you on May 30th at the Utica Mayor's Benefit Gala.
Start your savings at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Now through May 31st, get up to $170 back on a Firestone prepaid MasterCard. Get up to $70 when you buy a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires. Get an additional $100 when you make an eligible tire purchase with your CFNA credit card. Don't wait. These offers end May 31st. Visit Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, or online at tallmanstire.com.
The Memorial Day sale is on at upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer, Mattress Express. Get a prepaid gas card with your new bed, up to $1,000 gas card on select king and queen sets. Take up to 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers. No credit check payment plans available every day. any king or queen set in the store, except Tempur-Pedic gets a free adjustable base upgrade. Free. You don't have to pay anything extra. Massage chairs get a $500 prepaid gas card. Folks, this is big. And no one in New York State has all the brands under one roof that we have. Their sale is our sale. Remember that. Bring in any locally advertised price on a brand we carry. We will beat the price. 14 locations across upstate New York. Go to mattressexpressny.com. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS.
Step away from the screen and into something real at the 2026 Glimmerglass Festival, where summer comes alive with the finest in opera and musical theater just minutes from Cooperstown.
The Glimmerglass Festival is a world-class summer celebration of the arts overlooking beautiful Otsego Lake, making it an easy day trip from anywhere in the Mohawk Valley.
This year's festival runs July 10th through August 17th and includes Puccini's masterpiece, Madame Butterfly, Rodgers and Hammerstein's groundbreaking Oklahoma, a new English translation of Mozart's Così, and Fellow Travelers, a story of forbidden love and political intrigue.
The Glimmerglass Festival, no filters, no algorithms, just unforgettable performances and a perfect summer's day by the lake with world-class opera and musical theater, just a short drive from anywhere in the Mohawk Valley.
Experience live music, live voices, and live storytelling. No scrolling required. Visit glimmerglass.org to purchase tickets and learn more. Then put down the phone, close the laptop, and join us for real connections at the festival.
Get a smile for every season at Rosansky Family Dentistry. For crowns to veneers, we'll keep you smiling all year long. We're also excited to welcome Dr. Kutaria to our team. With her arrival, we now offer Friday appointments from 8 a.m. to noon, giving you more flexibility for the care you need. Call us today at 315-732-1981 to schedule your visit. That's Rosansky Family Dentistry, 1 Paris Road in New Hartford. Find us on Facebook or online at uticasmiles.com.
It all began in 1985 with a single goal, a commitment to brighten our community. And with your kindness, that light grew brighter. Because for 40 years, you've helped Food Bank of Central New York deliver healthy food and hope. But that need continues to grow. So this year, please consider giving a little extra and make sure the light we shine together never goes out.
Registration is officially open for the 2026 Boilermaker Road Race. Get ready for the 49th annual running of this iconic event, Sunday, July 12th. Whether you're chasing a personal best or just soaking up the incredible energy, this is a race day event you don't want to miss. Secure your spot now and be a part of one of the most celebrated road races in the country. Sign up today and get your training underway. Be sure to listen to live coverage of the Boilermaker Road Race Sunday morning, July 12th, beginning at 7 on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
A new shopping mall is opening to rival the already successful Riverside Mall in Utica. Sanger Town Square is a new state-of-the-art single-story mall featuring a food court, an arcade, and 50 storefronts, including anchor stores JCPenney and Sears and Roebuck. The mall is set for its grand opening this July.
Well, we're shopping here at Sanger Town, and they're closing all the old stores down, and JCPenney is a thing of the past, got Macy's and Laird's, and then it was gone. Well, the movie lovers came from afar, near the theater was Margarita's bar, Ruby Tuesdays had a great buffet, then it was bowling, but pins went away, and we're walking through Sanger Town. That pizza's still the best around, but it must be getting on to stay.
My mom would drop us off, and at Sanger Town, first place we would go to was the arcade, and we played the games. It was a blast. We loved it there. We were always there.
Well, we're walking through Sanger Town. Target, Boscov's, and Dick's still around. Spencer still has those dirty gifts. Victoria's Secret, give a bosom a lift. So Yankee Candle is just hanging on. At the holidays, there's Hickory Farms. Sears and Roebuck had to shut their doors.
I saw Fast Times at Ridgemont High at Sangertown. And that Phoebe Cates scene, very embarrassing with my mom.
Well, we're walking through the old Sanger town, a place to watch the oddest people around, and all the good stores have just gone away.
I think Sangertown's future is probably housing, so in 10 years, who knows, I might actually be living there.
And it's getting very hard to stay, but for now, we're shopping here at Sangertown.
Would I live there? Probably. I don't know. I wouldn't. I just hope they keep the arcade.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, on the line right now is Joe Lode on the road. Are you on the road or are you not on the road?
I'm on the road. Yes, I'm on the road.
Good morning, Joe.
Route 12 to be exact, but I will tell you, playing that song brought back a lot of memories for me of Sangertown that I'm not sure many people will remember, but there was a roller skating rink there.
There was a roller skating rink. And I don't remember that. I don't remember that, but everybody else does. I never...
It was down near where the Target wing is. It was across from the arcade, and then they turned it into cinemas on both sides.
Okay.
And, Bill, do you remember, because I do, we were broadcasting when that woman was standing out in front of Sangertown saying it was going to sink.
I do remember that. Yeah, that was a big thing. They all thought it was going to sink. And
there are parts of the parking lot that have sunk.
Yeah, well, I think that kind of happens in upstate New York. But the other thing is the somebody said to me, I heard that song, and Chuck E. Cheese was never at Sangertown. Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
It was like only for like 2 years, but it was I don't know what happened. Like because people had video games at home. I don't know what caused it, but it ultimately closed and then reopened years later somewhere else. So.
The main attraction, one of my main attractions besides that roller rink was that sunken restaurant Marguerite's in the middle.
Margaritas.
Yes.
That
and they,
was
you know why?
Awesome.
They had the mushroom fritters. They were the originals with the mushroom fritters with the cherry dipping sauce, and now you can only get it at Carmela's. I love that stuff.
Okay, so that Margaritas was built kind of like out of like rough cut wood. It looked like a Margaritaville type place. And
right in the center.
Right in the center court. And when they got rid of that, they're like, it's going to be so much better. We'll be able to do stuff in center court, like bring in other stuff. I mean, losing that place was... But you know what? What was in your mind? What put the nail? And believe me, I do think they're reinventing Sangertown, and I do think housing is going to play a role. I've heard again from somebody who I think would know that BJ's is coming to Sangertown, and I also heard Costco in Rome. We're looking into that too. That would be huge. But
Costco would be a huge one, yeah.
What do you think was, in your opinion, the day that really the move that really crushed the mall's traffic?
Ruby Tuesday.
Okay, I love their buffet.
Their salad buffet was the best.
That salad buffet was the best. But I think when the movie theaters went out,
that's true. That's true.
I mean, you had and at the time movies were hot, so you had traffic there all the time with people going into the movies. And
that might be, but the sign though that you knew it was on the downswing is when McDonald's pulled out. I mean, after
you're
McDonald's
right.
pulls out of some place, forget about it.
Yeah, you're right. And the Friendlies that was in there, we did the ice cream sundae wedding. There were 12 couples that got married, and all in decorated in giant ice cream sundae displays. It was pretty cool. So.
There was quite a few little events you had there. The pasta wedding.
Yep.
The pasta wedding.
Yep.
That was big.
That was there. To that song, I'll put a video up this weekend on Facebook. So, okay.
That's pretty awesome.
All right, Joe. Thanks, man.
It was nice to reminisce. Thank you.
All right. You have a great weekend, man.
You too.
A warm weekend, by the way, coming up. So
yeah,
finally.
it'll be a hot one.
Yep, finally. Okay, let me bring in Roseanne Laparco. She's a master gardener with a cooperative extension. And the question here, Davey, is it time to start putting flowers in the ground? Roseanne, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. No.
No.
The simple answer is no. I mean, I don't have really good news in terms of what to put in the ground because, even though it's going to get hot, if you do, I did a quick AccuWeather advanced forecast.
Yeah, it's going to get colder.
It's going to dip again.
Yep.
And the nights are going to, I saw 46 for a couple of evenings. That's just not good. Not to mention, now we've got waterlogged soil.
Yeah.
So between the two things, in the ground is not a good idea. Now, raised beds or containers are obviously, the conditions can get a little better there, but it's really a tough time to put things out because you've got to look in advance. And I think people are going to get that comfort zone this weekend. And Monday, I think it was either Monday or Tuesday.
And Tuesday,
it might hit 90.
Yeah, both days. Yeah,
It's really it's a roller coaster.
How about it is a roller coaster, and these extremes. Like
and
we
the
just had snow
AccuWeather
in
also
spots.
predicted more rain.
Yeah,
at least 3 or 4 days in a row at little intervals of more rain, which the two combinations, the cold soil, the cold nights, and wet, is just inviting plant disease problems to come on in.
Yeah.
Especially, I went to a conference this past Tuesday at Cornell on vegetables. We had to pick up our plants for our vegetable variety trial garden.
Okay.
I mean, I got these beautiful plants in my bedroom in a big bay window because we don't dare put them in the ground. But anyway, we were talking about if you grow tomatoes, for example, chances are really good that you're going to get some kind of disease, whether it be what they call septoria leaf spot, where the bottom leaves get all yellow, or heaven forbid, early blight. But this is the perfect weather for both of those problems.
Yeah.
And so if you plant, you'd be really foolish, frankly, to plant anything like cucumbers, squash, tomatoes, peppers, or eggplant. Those are the ones that need heat. What you could plant now, but you got to wait for the soil to dry up, are your cool seasons. You can plant lettuce, you can plant spinach, Swiss chard, broccoli, cauliflower, and in fact, your lettuce and spinaches, your leafy greens, really, really easy to start from seed. And this is in the ground too. Just make sure your soil now isn't waterlogged before you plant those seeds.
Yeah, because it is pretty wet out. I mean, it's wet now.
Pretty wet, and if you do use seeds, I tell this to people a lot. There's a lot of seeds in one packet. So unless you're going to do like half of your yard of lettuce, there's a lot of seeds in there. Don't throw them away. Yes, they have an expiration date on them, but the expiration date is for selling them. You can very easily save your seeds. Seeds will stay good for up to some vegetables, 8 to 10 years. It's just how you store them. Keep them in an airtight container, whatever you don't use. I like to fold the little packets and then use a jar with a lid. You don't want moisture to get into those packets, and then just store them in a cool, dry place out of the sunlight. And use them again next year. Do not throw them away. Seeds will last. And then we tell people, when you start the season with older seeds, do a quick, they call it a paper towel viability test. Because what can happen to seeds is they may not all germinate, like when you first buy the packet. So the only recommendation I can have is to not get into detail about how to do that, is just Google Illinois Extension, will my seeds grow? And you'll get a quick fact sheet on how to do this paper towel test. And that way you can decide, gee, if I want to have a big crop of lettuce and I have seeds left over from 2 years ago, about how many of them will germinate. And doing that quick test will give you an idea. And if they don't, pass the test, then you could buy a fresh packet of
Okay.
seeds. But seeds aren't cheap, so
Yep.
don't throw them away. So you could do that.
All right.
It's been pretty wet. If you're growing anything like roses or plants that are susceptible to disease problems, or if you had a disease last year, it can come back this year. What you really should be starting to do in this wet weather, and this weekend when it dries up is a perfect time, is consider spraying them with a copper-based fungicide. Copper-based is organic, not toxic to pollinators. The copper fungicide, if you use it when you see the disease, it's too late. Copper will work as a preventative.
There is talking about the pollinating, there is a documentary, I don't know if it's a documentary, I guess it is. It's a guy who has all of this unbelievable TV video equipment with great lenses, and he followed bees around. And the whole show is, I think it's a two-parter. And I'm thinking, why would we be interested in watching this thing on bees? It's unbelievable how smart bees are.
Absolutely.
And this thing, you got to look for it. It's on Netflix. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I think, last year, I lose track of time, we had a bee guy, his name escapes me, but he was from Cornell and gave us a presentation on the different types of bees, especially the bees they call solitary bees. They're the ones that they don't migrate, they overwinter. They are so smart, and they're the first ones that come out when the weather starts getting warmer, and you see them hovering. You'll see them hovering now around dandelions or other like clover that flowers. They're amazing creatures. They're absolutely amazing.
That's wild.
And I think people have this perception that, they're going to sting me. Most bees are not the bad guys in terms of stinging. You've got the other hornets, wasps, those types of insects that are, they can sting you, yes. But the bees really just do a lot of work and want to mind their own business. But they're amazing, amazing creatures. This speaker we had was just eye-opening on things that they've done with bees. I would encourage anybody to watch that because it's just amazing what you can learn from a show like that about how powerful, smart, and productive bees are.
Okay, Roseanne, we appreciate it. Enjoy this. Finally, get outside and get some really nice weather. But you're right.
We're working in our gardens, trying to get it up to speed. So, and I guess I'll see you next week.
Sounds good, Roseanne. Thank you. We appreciate it.
All right. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Roseanne Leparco. All right, I got a bunch of comments to get in and some other stuff. Plus, this weekend, the Preakness and Scott and Kirkville says he has the perfect bet for you. And if you're looking about NASCAR, I'm telling you, call Davey. He wins every week on betting on NASCAR. Pretty wild. Hold tight, WIBX.
You know that Chick-fil-A sells more than chicken, right? Hello, my name is Jaleesa, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is how it's all of my favorite breakfast items in one good bite. That fluffy egg, that melty cheese with that perfectly grilled sausage. It just gives you that warmth, that comfort food that you love. That is the best possible option for a classic breakfast.
Comfort is calling. Order a Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit with Simply Orange Juice on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real guests paid for their testimonial.
The Potting Shed Antiques in Whitesboro is buying silver, gold-filled, vintage costume, estate jewelry, and U.S. and Canadian coins. They've been your hometown buyer for over 50 years. While other gold and silver buyers claim to offer the highest prices, the Potting Shed Antiques actually delivers. Let Don Hartman take a look at your individual pieces or your entire collection. The Potting Shed Antiques, open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Please call ahead for an appointment. Visit thepottingshedantiques.com.
Are you sick of being just a number or doing a mindless job? Become a craftsman in a trade. Become an IBEW electrician. The IBEW and the Electrician Training Alliance will give you all the tools necessary at their state-of-the-art training facility. Earn as you learn. Paid training while you get your certification. What are you waiting for? Become an IBEW Local 43 electrician. Call or go online today to learn more. Find your career at IBEW and let the Electrician Training Alliance light up your future.
You wouldn't drive a car without suspension, so why mow without it? Ferris Commercial Mowers set the bar as the first and only manufacturer to integrate suspension into their mowers, allowing you to go faster, cut better, and not get beat up. Whether you're a professional cutter or a homeowner that wants to mow like a pro, Ferris is there with the commercial-grade mowers to keep you going strong. Visit the Caledonia family today at Clinton Tractor to set up a test drive and feel the Ferris difference.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Central New York homeowners have been trusting NGEM's Flooring America since 1917. Discover the beauty of 12 Oaks waterproof luxury vinyl flooring. Choose from a wide range of stunning colors and styles that look just like real hardwood. Why settle for whatever a big box store has in stock? We can often have your 12 Oaks floor ready in as little as 1 day. Plus, qualified buyers can enjoy 12 months with no interest financing. NGEM's Flooring America. Local flooring experts for over 100 years.
Step away from the screen and into something real at the 2026 Glimmerglass Festival, where summer comes alive with the finest in opera and musical theater just minutes from Cooperstown.
The Glimmerglass Festival is a world-class summer celebration of the arts overlooking beautiful Otsego Lake, making it an easy day trip from anywhere in the Mohawk Valley.
This year's festival runs July 10th through August 17th and explores our American journey through iconic musical theater and beloved opera classics. Revel in big dance numbers, a will they, won't they romance, and tunes you won't be able to stop humming with Rodgers and Hammerstein's timeless Oklahoma.
The Glimmerglass Festival. No filters, no algorithms, just unforgettable performances and a perfect summer's day by the lake with world-class opera and musical theater just a short drive from anywhere in the Mohawk Valley.
Experience live music, live voices, and live storytelling. No scrolling required. Visit glimmerglass.org to purchase tickets and learn more. Then put down the phone, close the laptop, and join us for real connections at the festival.
Little Falls Lumber has everything you need for home improvement season. They're fully stocked with secondary grade metal in all colors, available in 12-foot lengths and affordable solutions for sheds, garages, and roof repairs. Tired of digging through warped boards at the big box stores? At Little Falls Lumber, you'll find only premium grade lumber, hand-selected for quality. They also carry roofing, siding, windows, doors, and much more. Visit Little Falls Lumber in Little Falls in Syracuse. Call 315-823-2470 or go to littlefallslumber.com.
Any rain will move out early on this Friday, and the sun will break through during the afternoon hours with a high of 64. Clouds will increase this evening with an overnight low in the mid-40s. Then a warmer weekend, a sunny start to Saturday with a slight chance for an afternoon shower to high near 80, and some sunshine on Sunday with a high reaching the upper 70s. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
I travel every week, and I go to a barbecue place every town. And before you start, I'm not going to listen to you. I don't ask locals anymore because they don't want you to go somewhere close. It's never. Hey, man, I saw this place. It was right by my hotel. I'm going to go to this bar. You don't want to go there. You don't. That's not real barbecue. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to get on the freeway. You're going to go about 45 miles, okay? You're going to come to a rusted down mailbox. You make it right there on a gravel road, and you just keep going. There's a man that lives in a dirt hole. Now, he comes out of that hole every Thursday morning with a brisket. That's some barbecue right there. That's some barbecue. He don't take money. You got to give him baseball cards, but I'm going to tell you what, that's some barbecue right there. Here's my main problem with barbecue restaurants. It's the only business where it's just fine for them to not have the stuff that they say they're going to have. They're smug about it. Be like, can I get some ribs? If you want ribs at 3:30 in the afternoon, son, we ain't had ribs since 11:05. They line up for these ribs. Billy, we got a boy out here that says he wants some ribs. I don't know who's going to bring it to him. Maybe Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Hey, if people of all ages have experienced pain, doesn't matter, knee pain, hip pain, back pain, and it very well could be coming from your feet. Enter the Good Feet Store, arch support specialists. The goal is to go pain-free, and they do a tremendous job. Free fitting, free test walk, no appointment needed. You can walk right in. You could walk in today. And it's a 3-step system. You use strengtheners, maintainers, and relaxers, and it'll change the way you walk, which could very well eliminate the pain. And that's the goal. Reach out to the Good Feet Store, 4630 Commercial Drive in New Hartford, or call for a little info. Remember, there's no appointment needed, but you can call 315-999-3910 for the Good Feet Store now in New Hartford. My husband used to Christmas shop at Margaritas. Okay. Well, I used to go to Margaritas while everybody else shopped. And they had good food, but it was a great bar. It was like Margaritaville. We also did that at Ruby Tuesdays, right? On the line right now, Preakness is this weekend. Scott in Kirkville. Scott, good morning.
Good morning. You know, I was listening to your gardener lady. You know, I used to be a good gardener too.
I'll bet.
And I planted these bulbs. I found out that the 70-watt bulbs work better than the 60-watt bulbs. Yeah, as long as you. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a gift.
But as long as you brought water from North Carolina, especially if you lived in Ilion, to water them. But so that's just a rule of thumb. Use a 70-watt bulb instead of the 60.
Okay, did not know that. No. That's the Gilligan's Island lightning strike right there. You got you hard. Got you hard.
Did it hit the tree and then hit the hut afterwards?
Yeah, I think it did.
Okay.
And then Mary Ann, she got it bad.
Yeah, really.
Are you, listen to me, this seems like a pretty decent sized field of horses. You always say when there's only a few, you don't have a chance to do anything, but or win any money. But this seems, there are 14 horses in this Preakness tomorrow.
Yeah, it's the most since 2011.
Yeah.
Well, basically nobody. The weird part is it's a $2 million race. Now, you're absolutely right, Bill. From a pure betting race, it's okay. I don't think NBC is going to be too happy because the Derby winner's not there.
Yeah, right.
Other horses that kind of made a name on the Derby trail aren't there, and you kind of wonder why one of them looked at who's entered and say, man, this could be an easy $1 million winner. And the interesting part is the horses that are running in the Derby. Of course, you got Orselli that finished third at 70-1. Did he just run a race that was good, or can he do it twice in a row? That's the tough part. It's interesting because you're right. If you're just betting it, the horse that should be the favorite should not go up, just like the Derby. It should not go up 5-1. Now, the horse I liked in the Derby, Renegade, if you saw him at the beginning, got wiped out at the start and still finished second by a nose, and the post position kind of killed him. So that's what's great about horse racing. When you do the Derby, you can bet it across the board, win, place, and show, and still make money, and he still did it. But this race here is a little more difficult because the pools won't be as big.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to unload on a horse, but it's interesting. Now, these horses all finish second and third. It's almost like the third stringers. A couple of horses. The interesting horse that I was looking at, and we'll see what happened, but Chip Pancho, which is the number, I believe, 6 horse. Davey, if I got it wrong, just let me know.
It is, yeah.
No, you're right.
I was out of town, and the weird part is the printout I got just lists the horses, don't list the post positions.
Yeah, it's number 6.
That's crazy, don't list the post positions. So Chip Pancho was an early scratch from the Derby. He did not run well his last race, and they trained him, and they decided it's not worth it. So they scratched him early, and the Asmus and the trainer says we're pointing him toward the Preakness. The number 9, Iron. It's number 9, right, DB? Iron Honor.
Iron
Honor.
Yep.
He ran lousy in the wood. He was supposed to run a lot better. Finished 7th. Has an excuse. Was wide through the whole thing. And right after the race, Chad Brown, who's a well-known trainer, says, "Okay, we're pointing him toward the Preakness." So those two horses were pointed toward the Preakness when things didn't work out. The horse that's weird is the Great White, which is number 13.
That thing is huge. That is an enormous horse.
Huge horse.
Yeah.
And we don't know what he'd done in the Derby because he flipped at the gate.
Yeah.
And now, if you listen to the trainer, he says, "Just get me in the Derby. Just get me in the Derby." They finally, with a scratch, have gotten the Derby, and look what happened.
Yeah.
So he runs him back 2 weeks later. That's a number 13. That's another horse you got to look at. The weird part is 2 of your better jockeys is interesting. Talking, which I believe is number 5. I read that he's one of the top jockeys in the nation. He's riding a horse that's 20-1. You usually don't see the top jock in a big race on a 20-1 shot. And Johnny Velasquez on Cologne's Diorio is 30-1 morning line. And these two jockeys have won so many great races. You kind of wonder why they're on these long shots. And it's a wide open race. The horse I'm going to kind of go into is the number 12 horse. It's Riley Mott's the trainer, which is Billy Mott's son, and both of them used to train each other. And remember, Billy Mott was Sovereignty.
Yep.
He wanted to space the horse. This horse finished 6th in the Derby, and he got bumped twice down the stretch. He won the Virginia Derby, and he exploded. Once he got in the open, he took off. Remember, this is at Laurel, too, by the way, which Laurel's a whole different thing than Pimlico. Pimlico's under renovation like Belmont, and the stretch is weird. It's a long stretch, and if anybody gets the lead, might be gone, but there's so much speed. The favorite, Taj Mahal is a local favorite. Sheldon Russell is the husband of the trainer, and they own Laurel. They used to do well, so that's your local favorite. There's so much money that's going to be on these different horses. It should spread out.
Yeah.
To me, it's hard because you don't know, because they were disappointment in races that lead up, and that's the problem, guys.
Yeah.
For me as a horse, the Arkansas Derby, Louisiana Derby, the Florida Derby, unfortunately, is more important than the Preakness, because you got to run in those races to qualify for the Derby.
Right.
Now the Preakness is supposed to be a special thing. It's supposed to be Derby, Preakness, and the Belmont.
Is it
if
all?
you're not going to run in the Preakness, then you're basically it's a good betting race, but for $2 million, I'm shocked some of the favorites in the Derby aren't coming back for this.
Is it normally just 2 weeks after the Kentucky Derby?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See, this is
the Belmont has been moved up. That's the problem.
Well, no, it's 3 weeks. It's just at Saratoga.
Oh, right.
But
Okay.
it's a shorter distance because it's only 1.25 miles instead of 1.5 miles configuration. I believe Laurel can still run 1 mile and 3/16. This is the shortest of all 3 races.
Yeah.
And Pimlico was a speed favor in track and had these real sharp turns. If you get on the lead and you get to the inside, you usually can do well.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm going to enjoy it because any way you go, you're going to make money.
Yeah.
I'm going to Kaiser in the 12 and put them with other horses. But, like I said, Favorite and Pratt and Chad Brown will probably be your favorite. And, Pratt's one of the top jocks. But it's just like the Derby. I didn't talk anybody off it, and you saw a 70-1 who actually was leading in the race until the 2 horses, and you had a 22-1 shot winning.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah.
All right, good stuff there, Scott. Make some and Davies like killing it in NASCAR. I keep,
oh my God,
saying
he's on fire.
He's winning every week.
He is, and he's the NASCAR guru. I mean,
he is the guru.
It's kind of more difficult because a $5 park can knock you out. But the funny part is, 2 weeks ago they had a 25-car pileup, and I kept thinking of Days of Thunder, and then that's what the movie was right after that. But unfortunately, Blaney, I only bet Blaney twice. He's been in wreck. So I'm the Jinx.
How about when I switched it up like 2 weeks ago when
Brilliant.
and I walked away and you said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I got to go check up on something."
Yeah. He's taking my advice. I do basketball and football, and applying it to NASCAR. He's betting drivers with only 20 laps to go in the race.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Like in game. What do you think of the Bills?
In-game
Did you
is
see
the
Did you see the Bills schedule out? Playing on Thanksgiving and Christmas this year.
Oh, really? I didn't see that. I didn't really see it, but I know that their home opener is the second game of the season.
Yeah,
they really want to be on national
That's
TV.
Thursday night.
I don't know if you saw the prices of some of those seats.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Believe me,
Buffalo?
long-time Buffalo season ticket holders not happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, Scott, we appreciate it, man. Thank you. Make some money.
Okay, but thanks.
Okay. All right, thanks. That's Scott in Kirkville. Going to try to make some money this weekend. Davey, is there NASCAR this weekend you make money on? No? Not this weekend? Yeah. Oh, you can't hear a word I'm saying. You make money this weekend on NASCAR?
No, I'm not doing anything this week.
All right. Anyway, the Preakness is tomorrow, and what does it get off? Like usually 6:40 p.m., something like that. And it'll be on NBC. Okay, I want to tell you, Steve Ponte Mazda, that CX-5 was worth the wait. An amazing vehicle, contemporary styling, a larger touchscreen display, luxurious interior, and it's fun to drive. Right now, save on a new Mazda lease or enjoy 2.9% APR financing on a new 2026 Mazda CX-5. See the dealership for details. And as Rick says, let's make your deal on a new Mazda, where it's always easy to do business. Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. And what a great buy right now. If you're interested in doors, windows, baths, doors at New York Sash. It's all made in the USA, and everything is everything is 25% off. 25% off right now. Call New York Sash at 624-7344 or visit them on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro or online at newyorksash.com. Enjoy the weekend.
For 250 years, the spirit of American independence has endured. And now, the United States Mint honors that legacy with what may be the most patriotic and symbolic Washington Quarter ever issued. The 1776-2026 Revolutionary War Quarter celebrates 250 years of American freedom. A freedom that would not exist without the leadership of the Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army, George Washington. The tenacity and spirit of the Continental Army is carried in this quarter, and now you can hold that history in your hands. But hurry, pre-sale slots are limited. This one-year-only design, dual-dated 1776-2026 Revolutionary War Quarter is 250 years in the making. With only a fraction of a percent of coins in this condition, this is a true rarity. Call 800-978-4470 to secure this groundbreaking dual-date Washington Quarter before they sell out. That's 800-978-4470. 800-978-4470.
Did you know your most treasured rugs can look new again? At ABC Chem Dry, we specialize in premium area rug cleaning. From treasured family heirlooms to fine rugs from around the world, our trained specialists use a careful 5-step process, inspecting, dusting, cleaning, drying, grooming, and protecting, so your rug always gets the expert care it deserves. Don't wait. Call ABC Chem Dry today.